He stays in the hood, and like he's always at these like super just like grimy, you know what I mean, just like basement production type shit. But
So you
but
say Yuck Mouth one of like your
it
biggest
comes out so
inspirations?
fucking hard. That's a rapper, right? That's a talent right there. You know what I'm
For
saying? Like,
sure, for sure.
you know.
So like, is he like Yuck Mouth? You're Sour Mouth. He's Yuck Mouth. Is he like one of your biggest inspirations? As far as like,
Shit. Let's see. So there is a little backstory on that. So just first on the name part, my original name was Sour Kraus because that's obviously my last name.
oh, that's hilarious.
And like that
Fucking
was when I
funny,
was
dude.
like,
You fucking playing with it.
that was yeah, just like a play on words, and that was just like when I was like just fucking around kind of. But then my homie Quandre, shout out Young Mackin if he's watching. He was like one day he was like, bro, like like I you're good, like, and you want to be serious with this shit. You feel me? Like, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but like, what is sauerkraut? Like my nigga, it should be sour mouth. I was like, well, it's my name and some shit. But that I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I mean it's only a play on words for people who know that that's my last name. You
Right.
know what I mean? So anyway, so I was like, but then I was like, because I'm gonna keep it one half. Like I didn't want to like disrespect, like come off as like some disrespect to like, you know
Right.
what I mean? I mean, it's
Someone would
obviously
like
not the
look at the
same name.
album and be like, "What's this motherfucker like? Is this guy anti-Semitic?" It's like not knowing your fucking history, right?
Well, I mean, like it's on some like a few. It has a few a few tips. Like it's on some respect your elder shit. It's on some I'm not gonna front like that, that full. I mean, if he were to get mad or get offended by that, there's nothing really that I could do that if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and then at the same time, like I didn't want to, for my sake, I didn't want to come off like I was being lazy and biting someone. But then I thought about it, and it was just like, it's kind of the like how hip hop is like, because now that hip hop's getting older, you know what I'm saying? You have these
paying respects.
you have these like the baby Easy E's. Like I was like, that's tight. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's not copying. That might have been a little. I could probably find a better analogy just because I mean obviously it's his son, baby Easy E.
So yeah, I used to like go by different monikers as well, but like one of my original ones that I had was STD. It was like it was a backwards S. Like it was like so basically I was going with the identity of like I gotta come up with something that just immediately puts you off. Like I had a whole philosophy behind it. Like I was tagging this shit on the street with a marker, right? I had a message behind the identity of STD. And STD is essentially the money sign, right? So you got the money sign, but it's backwards because money corrupts. And then, then the T is an upside down cross because the religion pollutes the heart. And then the D is a sideways pyramid because the power has been tilted and skewed against us. Bro, it has like a message on all the levels.
Yeah.
So all these things that we worship, money, religion, power.
As you should, bro. Like, I hope you don't get annoyed, but like since I heard you rap, I'm gonna be pushing you to start. Like,
hey, do it, man. I can rap.
Like I know you can. Like for real. Like
I'm a little silly though.
And the fact that like you love this shit. Like I can see like you're like the thought and detail. Like well like I'm not gonna hate on like a just a generic the baby. I fuck with the baby by the way, but like just like kind of like a generic name. Like or maybe I mean there's probably a meaning behind it, but the shit that you're doing, that's like for one, it's really authentic because it's really like well thought out. You know what I'm saying? For two, for two, like that's more. I mean that like for down the road, like for your super fans, for interviews, like that's like something that you're gonna be able to expand on.
Look! I ain't gonna get super fans. Look at this shit. I'm gonna get super fans. Look how fucking old I am. Old Dusty. I'm old Dusty dog right now. Look at this shit.
Let me tell you something. Since I turned 30, that's been like the reason I'm gonna tell you, this is the first time I've like really said the reason why I didn't really take the time off. It was partly, and I don't really I'm not gonna get into that right now, but it was partly just pretty toxic relationship with my ex fiance. There was a point, like there was a point where I mean we were definitely in love. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna like denounce that, but it was that and like the fact that I was, you know, I was I was 29 or I just turned 30. You know what I mean? And I'm 31 right now, and you know, and but this has a good ending, by the way. Like trust me, when I turned like it's I don't know, something about 30. It was never like nothing, you know, it wasn't one big event, but it was just like since 30, it's been, you know, it's been always in the back of my mind as to where I never thought about it before. And you know, we was talking about not to get too much off topic, but we was talking about like how how youth is sacred, but
Yeah,
it's almost
absolutely.
a paradox, or maybe that's not the right word, but because
So
you
sacred.
can never like it's not until
We
you get
forget
old
that
until
though
you
as
can
adults,
look
man.
back.
Sometimes we still want children to act like adults. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, like for instance, recently I just watched a movie that I can't believe I haven't seen till just now. I saw it a few days ago. It's called Night of the Hunter. And in the ending, I don't want to spoil the movie, right?
Uh-huh.
The ending, from like the type of justice that we're used to for what we want, it's infuriating, right? You as an audience end up watching that movie and you're just like,
What's
no,
the
after all of
context?
this,
Like
no. Like you get
it,
mad. But then you look at it through the context of the child that the movie is about, right? And
right,
then and it's all about preserving purity, you know?
right,
And it makes sense when you're like, oh man, that's like a lesson to me as an adult to not forget about that
right.
purity.
And
And I
the
showed
thing
this to my friends and they were like, I'm so mad at that ending. And I was like, dude, but think about it. And everybody, after they think about it for a day or two, they're like,
and
you're right. That shit's
and
better.
bro, like as a director, like that's probably because in my shit, like there's times when I want to hit a certain where I'm able to, you know what I'm saying? I know how, but like that's a nuance, like how you picked that up, but some of like the people you're with didn't. Like that, like it was ballsy of that director to put such a layered nuance.
Yeah.
You
No,
know what
I
I
was
mean?
mad
Like
at
he was
myself,
a
man. I was
thinker.
like, I enjoyed the whole movie, and then this ending happened,
Yeah.
and it didn't give me what I exactly wanted as an adult Dusty, right? I was just like, no, man, this guy should have got what was his. This should have happened, and that should have
Well,
happened. And I was thinking about
was it
myself,
was
but I
it like
still love the
a
movie so
like
much. I thought about it.
was it like, you know, a universal like civilly bad thing, like for instance, was it like like a racial thing? Like this is, I'm just, it's an analogy. Is it
Mhm.
like what, like is it a racial thing to where like it's fucked up that the director might have let this happen and like let the movie end like that, or is it on more of like
It's
you like the
spiritual. It's not racial at all. Is that
I
so?
didn't
There's
mean,
not
I
any
meant
black
like,
people in the movie because there has been a historic underrepresentation of black people in cinema and a misrepresentation of
you
black
think
people in
so?
cinema. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's part of how we get programmed so early. It's why the doll test, you know, like why little black girls and little white girls, and we'll select a white doll over a brown doll. You know, it's because
Well,
it gets to us really, really early. By the time we're 3 years old, they've shown studies that this shit gets to you and starts forming your subconscious biases that your parents don't teach you, but it's exposure to the way media presents certain topics, and
yeah, I hear you. The media, when the yeah, because what I was gonna
they
say
don't
is
even mean to, but they
that
do
like
it.
you're like everything you said was right. What I was gonna say until you brought the media point in, because the media, it really, that's what it is. But like I was gonna say, like I I don't see anything wrong with the white daughter picking the white. I mean, what I'm saying is I don't see it like, well, I don't pretend that I'm colorblind. You know what I mean? Like
No, no, no. It's not picking. It's say which they ask the child. They ask the child which doll is better, and then they say specifically, and they say, and then they ask the
do they
question.
do?
So
How
they
old
ask
are
these
they?
questions. They're pretty young. They're like four to
Because
five.
better to, I mean better because I
But then
mean
they ask which doll is ugly. The dolls look exactly the same except for the color difference, right? The tone difference.
yeah, I mean I hear you. I'm just, see, I'm a
It's
person.
not natural though, right?
It,
It's not. It's taught. What I'm saying,
I mean, I would pick the
I'm not
black.
arguing. I'm just saying that it's taught. We're not
Yeah, yeah.
naturally doing it.
I'm saying, yeah. I guess I have a strong ideology. I don't know, I smoke a fucking blunt and I can't
Ideology.
pronounce words anymore. I know what they fucking
Yeah,
mean.
dude.
Ideology. That
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from, but well, I'm all about inclusion. I try and do that at every stop. But like, so I I'm definitely not the person that wants to find a racist. I try and like, every avenue, vent every avenue. I don't know. Go like, you know what I'm saying? Before I do that. But like, I hear you. I mean, ugly is definitely, because when you say better, it could have just been, because obviously a kid is going to be more familiar with the people they're around. The people they're around are white,
Right.
you know?
So, but here's the twist on that, right? It's universal. The doll test is universal because the programming is equal to every demographic that's watching
I never
media.
remember doing a adult test.
You
Maybe
never,
I
no, no,
did.
no. I'm not saying the doll test is universal, but the
Oh,
outcome is universal,
okay.
right? So when they studied kids that with the doll test was the measure, right? That's
Yeah.
the test. So when they were exploring how kids would react to a different color of the doll, they would ask these like psychological and sociological questions, like which doll is ugly, something that you normally wouldn't ask a kid, but through the lens of science,
Yeah. No, I completely
you want
get
to
the
see what their
study.
perspective are, right? But universally across the board in the doll test, this is what's telling. Brown is bad, white is good.
Now, if it's
Why
not
do
from
they
the
believe
parents,
that?
because
It's
I'm
not their
not going to
parents. It's
assume
not
every
their
single one of
parents.
their parents is racist. Like,
No,
how, like,
sometimes it is their parents, sometimes it is,
yeah, no,
but
definitely,
it doesn't
definitely.
even
But
require racist parents
yeah,
because
definitely.
they're already indoctrinated to the same level that they're eventually going to get.
Let me
So
tell you.
they're permissive of the media because the media is the same media that they got. So they don't see that it's disparaging because they got it and they don't think that they're disparaging towards other people. They still love people. It's
And
a
they, well, yeah, I
subconscious
mean,
bias.
and they're 3 years old. Like they don't
Yeah.
like, but
Well, even the adults though, but I'm saying it's subconscious. The adults have the same biases. They wouldn't outright say it,
do
but
you
the
think?
bias that the
Okay, I hear what
children
you're
are
saying.
honest. The children are honest, but the adults have the
Yeah,
same biases.
yeah. That's yeah. That's another crazy thing about kids. Kids are like mental illnesses with like how autism, like, in bad cases, like, you can barely
Right.
function sometimes, but you can draw a fucking skyline from fucking one look at it and shit like that. It's on some like kids really don't lie. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I don't remember the age I knew that lying was a concept, or if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't
Man,
remember.
me neither. That's interesting. Yeah. When
Right?
did I learn what
When did I
lying?
learn that I could lie? That's
I lied a couple times. I
huh?
felt I
I
felt
remember the first time like I knew I was lying and I knew I was doing it to get away with something and I knew it was wrong. I remember, like, maybe I had done it before, but I knew it this time. Because what happened, I'd stolen one of these little, like, from my daycare, one of these little Hot Wheels cars, my favorite
I
one,
know
because
what
you'd
you're
have to
saying.
race to it every day, and I'd sometimes not get my favorite car, so I just took it. So anyway, my friend, shout out Adam Pilarski. He was like, I'm not calling this snitching, but he was just like, didn't you, like, we were out, like, we were like doing something with my folks. He's like, didn't you take that from the and I was just like,
Oh,
no.
you got me.
Like
No, like I
I
have a similar
knew.
experience, man. I remember so like my relationship with adults is normally when I got in trouble with adults, I never understood it and I just felt like I was being bullied by adults. And usually that, now looking back, that was the case. It was just a case
Oh,
of
that's
bullying,
fucked
not
up.
teaching.
I'm
It's just
sorry that
sometimes
happened to
adults
you.
don't have other tools, right? They don't know. They're
Yeah.
I'm not blaming them or anything. What
I
I'm saying
mean,
is like
I
I'm
am.
just talking about the relationship.
Yeah.
But what I'm talking about is what was I talking about? I was gonna say
Your relationship with adults, and then
no, before that.
um about how, when did you had a
Oh yeah, stealing, right?
yeah.
Stealing, right? So I didn't really have a great relationship with adults, but I did steal something one time. I don't know how the adults thing relates to this, but here's a story.
All good.
I stole some fucking baseball cards. Baseball cards were real popular. We loved them. Football cards too.
Yeah.
Like the the score and the tops and all that shit. some kids were getting their fucking cards bought by their parents all the time. I was jealous. I was real jealous. They're
Yeah,
coming to school showing their
bro.
cards.
Yeah.
So
You
I
ain't
stole
gotta.
some cards. My
Yeah.
parents didn't find out. I felt really guilty. I went back on my own, right? But
Damn,
okay, here's where the parents comes in,
You've
right? I
always been
remember
a
now.
good person.
Yeah, so no, I wasn't a good person. I
Because
just
no,
I fucking
you
felt
have,
terrible. No, that's
but you
not
had
a
a
good
good
person.
heart.
I could have had free fucking cards and had been friends with people. I could have probably had better
Well, let
relationships
me
as a
tell you why I
child.
say that. Because I
But no,
still
let me
am.
go ahead. I was about to finish. No, let me just say this. So
Yeah,
there's the
go ahead.
part
Go
with the
ahead.
adults. The part with the adults. Whenever I got in trouble from adults, I didn't get it, right? I didn't understand the punishment.
Mm-hmm.
And I always just felt it was unjust bullying. But when I did something wrong and I felt like I deserved
You knew.
punishment, I did it myself. I punished myself,
Yeah,
Like
you
what is
knew.
that? That's weird. I
See,
think
and
people do that though,
well,
right? I
what
think
I was
that's
gonna say,
natural.
or I guess what I should say is the reason that I say that you've always been a good guy is because I I like I strongly, like, it's as strong as a memory can be. I strongly remember there was a time maybe when I first started, like when the car thing. Even though I lied and I never have said anything like again, like, and got away with it, like I I knew I had gotten caught, and I knew it was bad. You know what I'm saying? And I felt bad. What happened really young, because I thought I heard something. Let me tell you, I I definitely have stolen way more than just some baseball cards. Stolen and not
Oh
given
yeah,
back.
no, I don't want
And
to tell my whole story.
well, no, no, you don't have to. I
I'm
mean,
not a good. That's why I'm so like I'm like I look. I've been shisty. I've been shady. But the moral of it is, I think we all feel bad, and we have certain impulses that more or less push us towards reacting to that moral compass, right? Like, let's say it didn't really benefit me that much to keep stealing fucking football cards. It didn't benefit me all that much, and the feeling outweighed the benefit I got from it. But let's say in a different situation that I needed to do that to like even put money on the table, or like if I could like hustle some money, I could like even get some semblance of acceptance. You know what I mean?
right?
Like I wasn't concerned. So I had enough security to not need that. I had enough. So the
You
privileges,
had what you did.
I
Yeah,
had security enough
you didn't
to
have to. Yeah, you didn't have to. Like, when people say like people don't have to sell like a lot of people don't technically have to sell drugs to like to eat or like to but like in a lot of cases, like especially like when moms be fucked up, in a lot poor neighborhoods, like the parents don't be taking care of their kids. And what
so
people
it
don't
starts really young.
understand is what people don't understand is, and I'm not even calling it privilege or anything, but like, you need parents. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm
parents
thinking,
mean a
because
lot.
I'm just thinking back to it as a kid, and while I was always independent and doing my own shit, and okay, like you know, there were like, I didn't know how to, like, I couldn't have survived. I didn't know how to cook. I couldn't earn any money. I couldn't, and when as I've gotten older, like, to survive that, there's certain things that you just either you can only get a few ways as a kid, that is a necessity as an adult, that they had to grow up to be that early because of the situation that they were in. um but anyway, I do want to say something that's interesting, because you said that like we all feel that like, we all, when we've done something wrong, we all feel that. And I do, and I still do. I do now all the time. But there was, like, real young, I kept stealing, dude. And it wasn't, I had everything I needed. And there was a time when it didn't bother me. I'm not gonna say, I can't remember if I straight up couldn't feel that feeling, because I know the exact feeling you're talking about. And that's that's it's all good. Like I feel it all the time now, but I don't know what happened. But like, I think I don't know
It just
how, but
happens, man. It's what I'm
it's
saying. There's no judgment in that, right? Everybody has different like stressors that make them do eventually what they ultimately do, right? So we have some control over our actions,
and
but
exactly
especially
like I don't
more
want
so
to
when we get older.
and I don't want to be like I don't want to like I admire like you always looking at the like the backstory and why, but like apart like I didn't get caught. I only got caught a few times, but like I knew it was wrong. I'm looking back at it and it's like, I wouldn't be mad if somebody would blame like you know what I'm saying, blame me for that. Like I did like it was,
So what were some of the encouraging factors though that like made you want to persist? Like what were some of the
um
thoughts that you went through your head to justify it? Because that's just how we think, right? We do make
yeah.
justifications.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, exactly. So with that, or I'll say this before I get into that. I'm not letting myself off the hook for this.
No, I'm
Like,
not either.
yeah.
These are the things that I think are very interesting.
Yeah,
It helps
exactly.
bring us together as humans to like talk about the truth, right?
Yeah. So I stole, let's see, like the same, like the thing that I stole like over and over again the most was alcohol.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's the only one where again it's not nothing to take away the blame on me, but like I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic. I don't think I'm an alcoholic now, but like I do like to drink, and this was I got kicked out of I almost couldn't graduate. I did graduate, like I had over 3.0, but like I couldn't walk the stage. I couldn't like I gotten expelled, like it was like 2 weeks before graduation, but like yeah, I would
Man, you got
I would rob.
expelled. Sorry,
Huh?
man. You got expelled from
Yeah,
high
but it was
school.
only like 2 weeks before graduation. Like it was I'd already basically graduated. Like I went to college. Like it was, but like yeah, I mean, but it was definitely my fault. I mean, there was a QFC, Grant High School, right?
Yeah.
So that QFC, I probably for like the last 4 months of senior year, I probably would do 3 or 4 beer runs a day on, because it was, and I look back and I don't even know how I was that bold. But like now, like I'm not gonna lie, like now I'd be like, well, fuck, like what if someone steps up and like I'm gonna have to fight somebody? Like you really don't think about that shit when you're younger. That's
Well,
one thing. Like
I understand what you're saying because like in
not
high
that I'm
school,
scared.
like I think when I was a child, I had more of a conscience, but when I was older in high school, I did like it wasn't alcohol, but there was a fucking stash of for like candy bars that the school would sell for not charity, but to like fund certain things,
I
right?
know. I think I know what you're
So
talking about.
I had the key to the fucking candy bar closet in our high school because it had all the camera equipment, and I was in the electronic media class, and I was like, that's all I did. So electronic media sort of like killed my high school career because all I wanted to do was make movies ever. I just
Define
made
high
movies
school
all
career.
the time. It was in Cottage Grove, Oregon. It was Cottage
No, no,
Grove
no.
High
Define
School.
high school career though. Just I just want to. What do you mean it? Because you said it
Oh,
killed your high school career.
my high school career. It's like because I didn't it didn't kill it really, but like
Well, I
it
want to
was
know
the
what
only
you.
thing that I looked forward to, right? It was the only thing that I looked forward to. And I never went to any other class. Like for my senior year, I barely went to other classes. And I
Okay, I
essentially got
see.
kicked out of high school, but they let me stay in high school because I was a fucking football player and I played on varsity football ever since I was a freshman. And they're just like, well,
Yeah,
just get the teachers to give you a D at least. Because
yeah.
I was still smart and I was still reading stuff. I just wasn't doing
You
anything
just
that the
weren't.
school
Yeah.
wanted. I was nonconformist,
Uh
100%
huh.
nonconformist. My GPA was probably like 1.2, like extremely low,
Yeah.
not graduatable, but
Graduatable. Like
not graduatable.
I'm not gonna say I'm the opposite, because I used to think I was always okay with my intelligence level, but I mean, and not too long ago, I used to think I'm not saying I have a high IQ, but I used to be okay with. I used to think I wasn't that smart. I mean, like and like a little bit like less smarter than the average person. I was okay with it, granted, and maybe that's the unhealthy part. But like I've never like that's never been a worry of mine. But you know, and Well, there's probably still a part of me that does. The only part that worries me is I'm not. It doesn't bother me. Like, is that should like, you know,
Shouldn't
like
bother you. Just be smart, man. Just to
I
be
mean, I'm
smart just
okay
means
with
that
myself,
you
but like, is it healthy to be okay with being okay with being
thinking that you're
yeah
smarter than somebody else, thinking that you have some
yeah.
sort of advantage. That's totally okay as long as you are not using that elevation on somebody else to disparage
I don't
versus
have the
using
I
that
don't have the
elevation to
elevation.
lift up, right?
I'm saying I genuinely think that I'm a little bit like lower average on the IQ side than the average person, than
No,
the average
no
people.
way, dude.
But that doesn't bother me, and that's the part that it doesn't bother me. But that's the only part that I don't give a
You might look, you might be a little naive, but you're not unintelligent. You're definitely smart as fuck. So naivete just means that you have not been exposed to the things that will allow you to excel at whatever category you're trying to excel at,
I've
right?
been
So
that's
if you want to be a genius wrestler, in order to be a genius wrestler, you need to be taught how to fucking do all the shoots and
yeah.
slides and dips and
You need to
flips.
become a
Like,
student of the game.
right, but in order to be a student in the first place, you have to have had someone teach you. Not only do you have to have had someone teach you, you need someone that you respect teach you, someone that you want to learn from teach you, right? So
Well,
that's always a privileged position to have someone teach you that you want to teach you.
true that. True that. Because let me say this. I mean, and then in different ways, I did have teachers, but like no one taught me how to rap. I'm like, but at the same
Right.
time, like, I mean, I definitely studied Eminem, but like, I don't know how much that would be a teacher.
I don't think
I studied
anybody's
my
been
favorite
taught
rappers.
rap yet. Like it's not prevalent enough. It's not like guitar, right? Guitar is
Yeah,
ubiquitous,
exactly,
right?
exactly. You can't.
But rap is still a little bit weird. If you tell someone you want to be a rapper, like, oh, that's cool. I don't know anybody else that raps. You're my new rapping friend, right?
Well,
So
yeah. It's rap has gotten because rap is like,
gotten bigger.
and that's
I think our generation or
that's
my
one good
generation
thing
is the
about the
peak.
oversaturation is that because for the how many like everyone and their mama can rap, the baby can rap. You know what I'm saying? But like it's dope because with all the whack people, there's always bringing a higher percentage of dope people. You know what I mean? And it's elevating the standards. Because I'm a person like technical science. Like I wish there was
Yeah.
like a rule book of hip hop type of shit. You know what
Kendrick's
I mean?
been
Like
a great representation, man. Like he gives mad props to my favorite rapper, fucking Juvenile, right? And his newest song, he was just
get
this
it
is the
from my
third
mom.
time I've heard Kendrick do the fucking, you know what I mean? Coming on the street on, everything's so clean when I'm making the beat on, like Juvenile invented that
Really?
cadence. Yeah, Juvenile invented that cadence. And Kendrick is just like saying, it's like, this shit's dope. And people sleep on him. I'm not sleeping. I fucking do my homework. Kendrick's basically just saying he does his homework with that shit. And I'm just like, thank you. Thank you
You
for
know what's
fucking
so
showing
beautiful
Juvie
about
the
rap?
respect. Say
Anybody
what?
who's watching, you know what's so fucking beautiful about rap is how hard you just rode for your favorite rapper right there. Like
Yeah.
that, like you know what I'm saying? Like it's so like the person it's so like people say like being like super over personal and shit like that and your shit is bad, like bearing too much of your soul is but like you know what I'm saying, like that draws like the real authentic, like you fucking ride for that fool. Like
I ride
I
for him, but
fuck
look, I wasn't quoting him. I was emulating him because, like, look, I've never been someone who memorizes lyrics ever. I memorize like patterns and themes and like essentially I think about it from a theory perspective. Just maybe because maybe I'm a little autistic. I don't know, but I like that stuff. When I hear it at first, sometimes I'm like, ugh, that's gross. Like it's broccoli, right? I don't want to touch broccoli at first, but then you cook broccoli the right way, that shit tastes delicious.
does
So
it.
like some of
I've
these
yet to
rhymes and
have that.
flows at first. Like I remember the first time I heard Busta Rhymes, I was like, why is he always misbehaving and mischievous? This is so bombastic. And then I was just like, dude, that's like I listened to it again. It's like you ever hear something you don't like it at first just because it's different, right? And then you hear it again, and that's how you know you're an open person. When you like something almost immediately after that, like 10 minutes ago you didn't
Oh
like. You're
yeah.
like, I fucking
Oh yeah.
hated that. And then like 10 minutes later you're like humming to it and you're okay with saying to yourself, Yeah, that shit's
Bro,
dope.
hell yeah. I just did I did a little Instagram TV little clip on exactly that. Like, bro, like fuck it. I mean, this is a free fucking thinking platform. There's no fucking canceling. So you know what I'm saying? It's about open shit. Look, so like obviously I can't stand that mouse the 6ix9ine kid. His as a person, as a character, I every decision I do it different. As an artist, I can't. He is like, I mean, lyrically, and he might have but he has that sustained, you know, um controlled scream, like, you know what I'm saying, screaming in harmony type of shit. Like it's one of those under the iceberg things that, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, my point is, and same with Blink 182, and for me it's more ego. My point is that, like, only recently have I been okay with myself enough to be like, I like this about this, or, you know what I'm saying, or I like a person that, you know, for maybe a demographic or a sex or a whatever the thing is, like like it's socially, it would be like cool to, you know what I mean, to do that, you know what I mean. It would be a unpopular opinion. And anyway, I went way too deep into that, but with me,
No, man, that's fucking brilliant.
yeah, but I, bro, like it's dope because, and I think
Well, I need to go
when you
downstairs
said
for 1 second and grab my weed so I
yeah,
can roll
bro,
this. I'll be right
it's
back.
all good.
Actually, no, I'll take this with me. That way you can just follow the journey and keep talking.
Truman showing it.
There we go. That's right. This is the modern way that you do a podcast.
This is exactly. This is, hey,
you
we
gotta take a leak. You can take the fucking,
you know what I'm saying?
get into the bathroom with you. I'm
give
not
you
gonna do
different
that.
settings. You know what I'm saying? We give you different settings. You know what I mean? Like I could give you a commercial break. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right.
I have to watch myself, because one thing I've learned is to, well, ironically watch myself, because again, as an artist, like when you're the main focus, you know what I'm saying, when you're doing your in artist mode, like, you know, your brain is always thinking, like, you know, not necessarily entertain, or but like, you know, keep it interesting, you know, keep it going. But like,
check this shit out. This is my theater room.
Bro, what do you do for work? Did you fucking
Nothing, man.
That's
I'm
a nice
lucky,
ass house,
dude.
bro. You just
We are
need a
lucky. We are lucky and only pay our graces to God. That's all it is. It's just fucking and graces.
I wasn't. My bad. That was kind of. I didn't mean to, like. It was a joke. I didn't mean to, like.
No, I know what you're saying. It's just luck and
on your
graces.
private finances.
No, but so all this shit. This is like, so this, like this chair right here, free chair, free couch. You know, everything we just picked up on the street. You know, I did buy the projector screen. That's only $100, man. That's all it is. Like, you save up money for a couple weeks.
That's like one of those things that you plan, like coaches use, or isn't it? Like one of those.
No. This is just a projector. Like, you have a
stool. That's even fucking better. And
so here's like the projector right there.
Yeah.
And that's that shit. So it's all cheap stuff, man. It's just we live in like, you know, fabulous.
I think your survival skills, and obviously, you know, I don't mean this in any slur type of way, but maybe the part redneck in you. Is that a derogatory slur? Is that
no? So rednecks actually have a beautiful history, to be honest.
I don't want to be like
been a little bit corrupted.
I can't get mad at niggas for
rednecks aren't what they are. What they're, but the word doesn't mean the same thing anymore. It's so it is.
Would a redneck take offense to it? You know,
yeah, I don't really. Someone calls them like, you're just, if you diminish someone's being, if you diminish anybody's being for just anything, it's gonna be taken offensively. Like, it's like, you're just a redneck, you know, like that's like,
you could, tone of voice is so, because you could basically say anything in a like, you know,
you could be like, man, we're just rednecks.
No, but I mean,
you know what I mean? It's a little different.
I didn't mean it, and obviously, I mean, I know you knew that I didn't, but obviously, with all the, you know, with all the shit,
I've lived in big cities. I'm not from the small town. Like, I live in I live in real diverse neighborhoods my whole life, except for when I was younger. And I do have lots of stories to tell about that. But even when I was younger, I was always like, from like middle school to graduating high school, I was always put in like premium athletic mobility, right? Like I was scouted for football and shit, which I didn't care about fucking school. So 1.2 GPA ain't gonna get you into college, right?
But
even
like
with the scholarship,
you said, you
right?
were being scouted though. Like,
Yeah,
football.
I went to
So
duck
you were
camp
good
and
at it.
everything.
Let me ask you this: did you obviously enjoyed it enough to want to play?
I love football. Football was the only reason I went to school.
Okay. Oh, I feel you.
And track and field. I love track and field too. So I was pretty good at both. I was probably better at football than I was at track and field, though.
Yeah, I think, and maybe tell me if this is a relatable feeling, but this might be one of my selfish traits, you know what I'm saying? But like, or not selfish, but conceited maybe. Anyway, I'm only interested in things that I'm good at. I only like I've tried a lot of things, and I'm, believe me, bad at most shit. Actually, I'm bad at
none of the bad things interest you.
But I only like, is that a bad, like I have to, if I'm not good at it, or at least I'm learning faster or pretty fast, then I'm not.
Okay, so that's there's a difference right there. You said the key word. You're learning fast. You're experiencing growth. So a lot of activities, like let's say chess, if you don't know the rules and you're playing against someone who knows the rules, and then you move something and they're like, no, you can't move there.
Yeah.
No, you can't move there. Yeah, you can move there. So you move it there, the only place that they said you don't know the rules, but then that guy just takes your queen in like 5 moves, right?
Yeah.
And then your king is fucked. That's not going to be fun for you. It doesn't mean the game chess isn't uninteresting. It's just that you didn't have the right starting point to be engaged.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you need to see a documentary about it first, right? Maybe you need to see the historical context of why it's relevant to you for you to be interested in it in the first place.
True
so
that.
There's no reason to like be down on yourself for not being interested in something. Everything's interesting. Everything's interesting. Just
the thing is
not everybody gets like the right context.
Partly the reason I'm, voicing this is, well, partly because we have a lot in common, and I trust you as unbiased analysis. But like, I think the only reason I'm asking these things is because I know on a certain level that some of these things, like only like liking stuff that I'm good at, like that could be, I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel, there's nothing except for my height. There's nothing that I'm not conceited, but there's nothing that I'm not happy with who I am.
Except for my height? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
I'm short too, man. I'm only maybe 5'8.5".
I'm 5'7", 5'8" on a good day.
No.
But like, and it's not really an insecurity, but it's like, if I could change something.
Some of the fastest people, some of the most athletic people are fucking tiny in comparison to me, even, right?
Honestly, it's like with it's the female tip. And again,
there you go. I agree with you 100%. It's nothing that you can control, though, man.
Something that it's
nothing to be mad at women for either. It's nothing to be mad at.
It's not. No, it isn't. Like, because you've heard that, like, I only date dudes that are 6 feet or taller. Like, it's almost kind of like,
man.
Well, I've heard it enough to where it's like, I think it's kind of a thing in their world, which is at first, like,
it really is, but sometimes it's weird. I'm insecure about being a bald man, right? Because one time I was making out with a girl and she took my beanie off, and I was still making out with her, and she felt the top of my head. She's like, "Wait, you're bald? Get out. You need to leave." And we were making out and getting hot and heavy.
No, she's just a bad person.
No, she's not a bad person. It was just one of those things. She was under a misconstrued, like, hair on top of their head men.
No, bro. Don't, you're not. And
I didn't know that was a thing at the time. I was like a young person that just lost my hair, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. I'm wearing a beanie because it was in the winter, right?
I'm not going to call her bad, but she's extremely shallow.
That's okay though. I'm not mad at them.
No. I know. But I'm gonna let it.
Beautiful women who have accepted me for who I was.
Yeah, but because we were since we were on the topic of, like, of why maybe women felt like this, or only did this and stuff like that. I didn't want to categorize that action that girl made on you to I didn't want to attribute it to like a girl, a guy, like that is just a bad, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but with that said, like what niggas is
Well, what if
high.
a guy's like making out with a girl and then like he's like running his hands through the hair and then the weave comes out or the wig comes off and it's a bald head under there. I wouldn't care personally. I've dated myself
wish
plenty
I
of
could
bald
help you,
women. I
but
think
like,
it's beautiful.
I
But
wish I could
man
help you,
might
and
be
it's
like
not
that.
like, I mean, I wish I could help you in terms that, like, I mean, biologically, I'm unable to judge a male, like, you know what I mean, but like, you know, but okay, let me finish about the 6 foot thing. I was mad at first, but like, and tell me if you've heard this, like, it's a I've heard and I've even read that, you know, it's almost a biological response, a biological need at a subconscious level, because when, like, you know, going back to the caveman days, when, you know, shit was a lot more dangerous, like outside, and it was like the threat was like right there, and like, you know, the sense of, like, you know, the bigger men you were with, or the taller, you know, in a sense, the bigger
Oh
men
no.
you were with,
So
in a
okay,
sense,
that I get where
protecting
you're
them.
going with that. You think that it's like an ancient innate thing for
But
women.
no,
So
not
women's
ancient.
selective choice is very interesting. It's a very interesting topic. Let me
But does that
hold
not
on. I
make
want to show
sense
you the
though?
book real quick.
Does that not make sense though?
No, I know it makes sense, but I get where you're going. So this book, if you're into that shit, this book right here is amazing. Oh, it's upside down. No, it's not upside down.
Word,
Right.
yeah, make sure. Word.
This book right here
Okay.
is fucking amazing. It's
What's,
brilliant. It's pretty thick.
tell me
Robert
and
Sapolsky.
the listeners a little about it. Like what are like some points
So
that you.
women's choice is interesting, and it's not so ancient. Like humans are not so fucking rigid, right? Our biology and genetics are not so rigid. We can have an assortment of expressions genetically depending on the environment and social climate even, right? So depending on resources available, depending on whatever the need is,
The environment.
women are attracted to will be different. In certain cultures, right? It's like the book I'm showing you is so fucking amazing. It talks about like how in Tibet, like women will have like 5 husbands, or like if their husband dies, the brother automatically becomes the new husband, right? And he explains this through a biological lens and makes analogies in nature, like of certain demands that are made for survival that makes that female selection more viable. So female selection
by that particular
changes
culture.
dramatically between whatever is required. So right now, the reason that we prefer tall men, especially tall white men, right, is because that's who's the most successful. That's the one that's like,
not all women. Like there's
not
like
all women, no. But that's what.
It's a pretty good diverse group of like women.
So no, what I'm saying is that not all women, but those women probably still fuck that same dude.
Yeah, no,
they all fuck.
It's enough.
They
for
all
me
fucking
to
Genghis Khan. What
it.
I'm saying is they all fucking Genghis Khan. Who's not fucking Genghis Khan? He's the most fucking viable sperm out there.
Like I'm genuinely, I get it. Like it makes complete sense. I can't even be mad at it.
Right.
But like, you know, and again, like it's well, it's just made me have to overcompensate in other areas and get good at other areas. But like, so
yeah, exactly. That's why I've been working out a little bit more this summer, to be honest.
Yeah, I was more bitter like when I was having to go through it, like fucking, you know what I mean? But like now that, you know, I see
and
it.
it's not overcompensating. It's not overcompensating. It's just balancing. It's just balancing. That's all it is. Everything's a balancing act.
Yeah.
So like if you're not meeting on some sort of angle that you're trying to get to, you got to like prop yourself up in some way, whatever way you can, whatever way your intellect brings to your attention to do it. And I can't tell you what that solution is going to be because every single fucking problem is so different.
Exactly. Accept the things that you cannot, or I mean, it's in AA terms, accept the things that you cannot, or there's one of them is accept the things you cannot change. And like, so it's like, obviously I can't, there's no way I can get any taller. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know that quote. That's a great quote.
In most aspects in life, like, and this is where I do beat myself up on. in any other aspects in life, like like there's few things that are finite, like your body. You really can't. Well, that's, I mean, that's different. Girls can, but like my point is, like, if I'm not good at it, I do. I mean, I do beat myself up because if it's something that can be learned, and I'm not, and either I gave up on learning it, or or wasn't learning it fast enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm saying is, I completely forgot what I was saying. What was I saying? It's on the tip of my tongue.
You're not beating it up fast enough, beating yourself
Okay,
up.
okay. Yeah. So the one thing that I do, like, am hard on myself on is um my lack of ability. And this is where I do think I hardly ever bring up mental illness as any type of feel sorry for me, or this is why I didn't do this, but like, I
So
just,
you don't want to make an excuse.
yeah. But I'm just saying, I think this is where, ADD might kind of play a little part. But anyway, so like, I just, it pisses me off when, I can attain anything. Like, I should be more successful. There's,
Should be.
there's a million decisions that I made over the last week. You know what I'm saying? Like, that I could have made different, and I probably could have been. I'm very happy right now, but I always, if it's attainable, like, you know what I'm saying, like, through willpower, through power of the brain, and I'm, you know what I'm saying, and I want that, and I don't have it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really hard on myself for it, because I should have it. If I want it and it's attainable, and I'm able to, it's something you can work for.
I mean,
why am I not working for it?
You think that's an indicator of whether or not you're successful?
No, and that's why I do make the difference, because oddly, I've always been, I've never remembered being depressed in my life.
Also, let's talk about successful real quick. Successful,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
so
for sure.
broad. There's so many different, like, oh, you dang cat. Hey, kitty.
My definition of success is literally being happy. It's the most, like, and like, so that's, I should have said that at the beginning, because I'm very happy with where I am. Like, I'm very happy. But like, if there was something that I did beat myself up on, is like, if I'm willing and abled, and I should, but I'm happy, so I am successful. But I could be more successful. That's what it is. Like, you know, um, I think it might be like a what if type of shit. Like, death is very a prominent thought, in a sense that, not like there's a threat. Like, I'm not, what I'm saying, I'm not 6'9" and 1 in man or something like that. But like just the concept that I am gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, and I'm religious, but like, I'm not. I don't know if there's anything else.
Speaking of death, like, I was watching the Mike Tyson talk to Tony Robbins last night.
If this is
you watch
it,
that?
I gotta get it. Like that, like that's how I feel. Like, that's
Mike Tyson talked about how he dies a lot, like how he died to become who he is now, and like, I feel like people don't get him. Like, Mike Tyson saying one thing.
I
get him, dude. I fucking get I get him from the fucking very bottom of my soul. Like, I feel like a kindred spirit to his struggle, and like how you gotta accept people eventually at the end, just even though they're fucking being asshole douchebags to you all the time.
He has a reason to complain. If there's like,
he doesn't complain though. He's the most grateful person. He's so grateful. Like, he starts crying when he starts talking about like the people that he had in his life to make him who he was. And I've had exact similar experiences. When I start thinking about like why I am who I am today, it's like, it's not me. I didn't do shit. And I start crying, It's like, it's fucking.
Yes. Bro, I'm not that good.
It's grateful. It's love.
I'm not that good of a person. I'm not a bad person. But I'm selfish, man.
We all are. It's our main struggle, dude.
But I mean, it might be. The thing is it doesn't. Well, I'll put it like this. Like, the best analogy is, I don't even. Like, there's a certain amount of work I have to do during a day. Like, I have a complete routine. I've been doing it for a decade, and it's more work than I needed, like, that I, would need to do, like, to maintain. But like, that's kind of besides the point. Like, if I don't meet my quota, like I do have a quota. If I don't get to that quota, like by the end of the day, like I don't talk to people until I'm done, with my work, because I'm a completely different person almost. Like, I'm not gonna cuss you out or anything like that, but I'm gonna be short. I'm gonna be, you know what I mean? Like, and so it's like, I really need to be not successful, but I need to be.
Like, you feel like you'd accomplish something.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And that's material, and it's not bad.
I'm gonna tell you a secret that I learned. Whether you think you accomplished anything or not, whether what you want to accomplish or not, like that shit's all fine. But when you die, it's all gone, right?
I don't know.
But the truth of reality is you will always be communicating. So struggle, whatever you're doing, everything that you do right now. So like my message is that what I tell, like everything that I really talk about is about this one thing, is the struggle that you're going through right now in this moment, and you wanting to do something, wanting to accomplish something, is 100% meaningful. It's 100% meaningful, and it's okay to strive through that. And if you fail, that's 100% meaningful. You still, like, beyond, like, that's how I look at God. Like, God is so gracious that, like, and I consider myself an atheist in the line of Spinoza, so that's why I talk about God the way I do.
Yeah.
But even if you don't accomplish that, that's still communicated the absolute most genuine, authentic scenario that reality could produce, right? And that's the only thing that is teachable, authentic reality. And if we have something happen that isn't authentic reality, which never happens, fortunately, good thing, like, things make sense, right? Good thing that people don't get what they want just because they want it. Sometimes people get shit when they've been a bad person. Sometimes people get shit when they've been a good person.
Yeah.
You know, there's other circumstances there.
It's really unfair. Like, that's
not that it's unfair. It's just begging us to look deeper. The world is saying, hey, this is at odds with what you think. Please look deeper. It's God always saying, look at me.
I agree with that. And I'm not saying it because of me. Like, and that's another thing because I had everything I needed and then a little more. Like, I feel like for the way I was raised, for who my parents are, for all the opportunity that I had, I did not, like, that's why, I wrote that song. Like, I really, like, my parents deserve to see me succeed.
The Havala one?
Huh?
The Havala one?
The I Hate It song.
Oh, I hated that one too. Yeah, that was really good too.
That was probably my most, like, a person, because
that was really personal, man. That shit almost made me cry.
Literally, kind of neurons are connecting, like fucking mini fucking therapy.
I hate it.
Like, I really, what would kill me is, and my parents are already proud of me. They already it's genuine unconditional love. But me being, like, looking at shit in material ways, like, I feel successful. I'm happy. My parents are very happy with me. You know what I mean? They love me. I feel like I need to be, they deserve to have happiness of, oh, I'm amazed you did, like, you know what I mean? Like,
you want to impress them.
Mark Zuckerberg's parents, like someone's like, like, they deserve that. They were wonderful, and they deserve to see. They deserve.
That's cool, right? I mean, it'd be nice to give that to your parents, but man, that is so much. I get it 100%. It's just so much. They don't need that though. They don't
at all. They don't. And
and if you get that, man, I hope that, like, you get that through, like, just really enjoying the process. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It would obviously, well, I can't call it, when I'm, 15 years from now, but
It's the journey,
It's
right?
gotta be from. I mean, for right now, for the last decade, it's gotta be from from music, and that's another thing. Like you asked me, like, what's the definition of success? Is being happy, and my definition of happy, or what makes me happy innately, is being able to wake up and do what I love every day. Um, you know, I work a part-time job, but and I'm obviously not balling or flexing, but at this point, I've been doing it for so long. I make enough off of royalties. I make enough off of I do some ghostwriting. I make enough off of doing promos for other people.
How's that ghostwriting, man?
I
I've
make
thought
enough
about doing that.
I make
Sounds so interesting to me.
enough for a
Ghostwriting.
part-time job, and be able to uh most of the week wake up and fucking do what I love. You know what I mean? So that's
Without dropping like any names or like exposing anybody, who are the type of people that request like lyrics? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something like I couldn't, because there's an NDA for every contract. But
dang, it's so cool.
But and while I feel a certain way, like I could never call myself a hip hop artist or anything if I didn't do everything myself, like write it, record it, and all that. But I don't look down on it because, well, obviously I make writing. Because even in hip hop, there are some things that are really hard for me that I still like. I'm not a good recorder. It takes me. I have to do takes over and you know what I mean. Writing. What I'm saying is like writing is.
You don't have a coach. Well, you work with Crenshaw, right? Does he give you like advice sometimes?
Mike Crenshaw is a producer. Mike Crenshaw is a rapper.
I know he's a rapper, but like you link up with him, right?
Yeah, he was kind of like a mentor, like in my
yeah, dude, he's amazing. I only talked to him a couple times, but I've seen him at bars and talked to him, had like 1 or 2 conversations with him. That's it. But he seems legit,
genuine
dude. Human being, I really like him.
He's a genuine dude. He was the person that I needed at that time, and not to sound racist or whatever, but that is really what it is. He was the person. He was the person that I needed at that time, that I was going to listen to tell me the things that I needed to honestly look internally into myself and start making the changes that I did. Right. And it wasn't, obviously I was dodging the elephant in the room, but one thing, I've never been a racist person. I've probably said some racist things. Obviously, I'm not gonna lie. I don't.
We come from America, and we've been programmed. Yeah, so you can't help it. Even
very unintentional.
Look, that's what I'm talking about with the doll test, right? It's the same thing. Doesn't matter who you are, you get the same indoctrination.
Well, let me keep it all the way 360, because, and I'm not gonna go too much into it, but like, I had, it was over, back in my teens, like, and stuff like that, at least 15 years ago, like, while I've never been, I probably said some racist things, and it was never like, I did not mean to say it. If I did, I don't remember, but you know what I mean? Now, there was a time when I wasn't as accepting as I am now of homosexuals. And I don't even think I was like, okay, so I would, I'd call things gay if they were bad. I'd use the F word that's bad for them, and I would never call them that, but I did not sensitive at all. Like, I just used it, and anyway, one of my old friends back in that group that I kicked it with, when I used freely, I learned I'm assuming he was probably gay then, because he came out as gay later. And I feel awful, because he must have anyway. But so anyway,
weird. That word's weird from coming from the 90s, and it was like, I use the word ubiquitous a lot, but yeah, it was everywhere. Like, everybody used it in every 80s movie that I remember. Like, it was just like, or not early 90s, like in Bill and Ted, they're like, fag, like, totally. It was thrown away. It's a funny word. To be honest, I feel bad about it.
And honestly,
I don't want to justify it.
No,
it's actually a complicated fucking.
It's a concept. Maybe the only objection I have to this, because I mean, obviously I think we're both being pretty civil, but we're being honest, you know. And the only objection I would have is that I'd like, this is gonna sound the word that we were talking about, but like I'd like a homosexual person to be here, because like
I appreciate that. Yeah, I can't. Like, I feel dirty even saying. Look, I wouldn't say the N word, and I shouldn't say the F word either.
Huh?
I wouldn't say the N word, and I shouldn't say the F word either. I shouldn't.
I
feel
mean,
bad. You know.
I mean, no doubt. Is it a religious? I mean, like a religious thing, or is it like you just? Because
I shouldn't. I mean, I guess Well, you're saying like you wish that there was like a gay person here to like, so we could actually talk about this honestly and openly and be checked. And I agree with you, because we need to be checked. Everybody needs to be.
I mean, it's impossible for my whole thing is it like how, like, yeah, I know it's impossible for me to know, and like I think it's kind of rude. Like, how am I going to tell you what offends you in your culture? Like, I had knowing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, so in respect, I'd like to. Though I'm like, we can still. I mean, obviously, we can still have it. Like, but like.
No, I mean, I was trying to make like a reference to like how people talked in the '90s. I don't want to talk that way myself, but what I'm saying is, like my what I'm meaning to say is that the F word comes a lot easier to me than the N word. You know, like, and they're not equal to me.
Bro, I know you're not.
They're both bad. They're both bad, and I shouldn't say either. I shouldn't say either.
When do you use the hard ER? I'm not gonna get mad. I'm not gonna get mad.
No, I will never. No, not with the ER. Hell no.
I mean, you don't have to say it.
Like it's not even like something that like I can even like. It's not like relevant to me or my experience, and it's disrespectful to people, and it's way more harmful than the F word. And I shouldn't say the F word either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess my question is, who is this specific demographic that the F word is? Because I think,
because you know, like what I mean, I don't necessarily mean it against like people who are gay, right? People that have gay feelings and
yeah,
all that shit's fine, right? I feel like sexuality is a spectrum. It's not something that's like black or white or like anything. There's like from
almost everything is a spectrum.
Yeah, it's spectral, right? So. Yeah. I guess what the feeling is when no one likes someone who's in your face and disrespecting your space, right? No one likes that. No one likes their space being disrespected. And flamboyancy has been attributed recently to homosexuality. And really what people are against, and I'm not against flamboyancy. I think flamboyancy is expressive. You know, there's like fucking Ric Flair out there.
I don't know what flamboyant.
Whoa, I'm Ric Flair. But
bro, before you go on, I don't know what flamboyant means.
So flamboyant is showy, like wearing lots of feathers and ruffles and drawing attention. Someone that draws attention to themselves on purpose.
Oh, then I'm hella flamboyant. Or I mean, rappers in general are.
Yeah, no. So flamboyance is part of the culture, right? We come from culture from the funk era. The funk era was originally like the birth of where fucking hip hop came from. So early hip hop artists were dressing in almost like disco-esque outfits, like tight-fitting, large collars, shiny sequins, like all that shit, right? That was part of
DMC was the one
of before hip hop was what it is today. Yeah. So yeah, flamboyancy is definitely part of that. But what I'm saying is that's why people don't like hip hop either, right? Yeah. People don't like it because it's in your face with it sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is basically I'm a hypocrite. we're all
exactly. Like I can't get mad at someone for if they're dropping M-bombs and I'm over here saying the bad word. I've been good at I've stopped like saying the F word that's bad for gay people, but like sometimes something will happen. I'll stub my toe and be like,
I was born in 1981. I try really hard and I feel it's still fucking, I don't like it. I don't like it. What I'm saying is it's still, and it's, what I'm trying to share, I'm trying to be honest, it comes easily to me, I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah, me
Like
too.
you see Dave
Me
Chappelle,
too.
right? When he can just fucking say it, and you're just like, I get it. I don't want to do it
Me
anymore,
too.
but I do it
Yeah.
still, right? I fucking watched all the movies that made me.
This is
That shit was hilarious back in the day. We all laughed. We
yeah.
thought it was
This is,
funny. We thought it was funny, and
no, this
those
is something
memories are still like anchored in there.
if I post this, this is something that could get us canceled. Fuck that. I
No,
hope.
I don't mean it like I
No.
don't want like
Neither
I'm
do
just
I.
trying to be honest. Like we all come from somewhere. We're born different distances
Yeah,
from the truth, and I'm still trying to get closer to it. I still have lots of growth to do.
I do too. Yeah, I have a lot of, I'm just happy because at the growth I've already done, it gives a good light into the eye into the future as to how much I was a completely different person 10 years ago.
Right.
And maybe there's, probably from a teenager to, 30, from like, that's probably the
Gotta
most,
plug your shit in.
but like, I am a completely different person. And if I go through half the amount of change I did in this last decade, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know who I'll be.
That's a great
Yeah, I don't know.
realization. If I do half the amount of growing that I just did in this last decade, I'm gonna be so, like, in 10 years, I'm gonna be way ahead of. Well, I'm gonna have my definition of making my folks proud. So that's that.
Yeah.
I was flexing out loud / having a little realization moment. My bad. No, but that's good shit.
Yeah, I don't want to be disparaging to anybody, man.
At the
At
same
all. From
time,
any like no matter what point anybody is in their lives, you all deserve to be accepted and loved, and someone needs to hear the voice, you know. People need a voice, and
yeah.
we got to be able to extend that. And I understand words can like make you feel diminished.
Yeah, and the last thing anyone wants, even I know sometimes it is on accident genuine. Last thing anyone wants is, to be offended, especially for something that might be different about them, that they might, like it happens, but like it does suck. You know what I mean? I've gotten a lot better at, because I mean, believe me, there's white people that are very comfortable saying it. And, I used to just, I'm not going to lie. Usually I'd pick a fight like right then and there, even if most of the time it wasn't in a racist way, but
Yeah.
it's a really disrespectful thing to me. And I feel like, well, it hits me, you know what I mean? So it's it's the one thing that I really didn't want to grow on. Like, I still have the same reaction of wanting to knock a motherfucker out when I hear it now, but it's like a forced grow. Like, I mean, I couldn't be a successful person if I'd be in jail. Like, I wouldn't be able to be successful. I couldn't keep a job if I, like, like back when I didn't have to worry about that shit. You know what I mean? So I still get the same feeling. I still want to do the same thing, but
Being an artist is job security, to be honest, because an artist is something that they can never take away. An artist is something that can never be replicated by AI, right? They can replicate art that does AI that does art, but it's not art from a human. And art from a human is something that we can try to understand. It's like a game. Every time you look at art from a human, it's more meaningful automatically because a human made it. So an art from an AI is never going to mean as much to a human as art from another human.
Let's talk on that. Let's talk on that for a second. I feel you.
Yeah.
Now, define, and there isn't a right one. I'm not saying it like that. I'm curious. Define what's your definition of AI. And I'm not talking about AI right now. Say AI could we could program them to be.
AI is any sort of thing that can replicate the choices that we make, right? So when we need to turn left or right, depending on like certain circumstances, it could be very basic. If you look at video games, video games have had AI since the beginning. And AI could be as simple as if you are on the same axis, the enemy has code to come at you. So the code to come at you is considered AI.
I got you. Okay, I should have phrased it better. What I'm saying is, like, hypothetically, imagine that we were at the point where we were making AI as either identical or even smarter than us. Now, is it fair to say that like it's
So
like we should like
if we have
robot
AI,
origin,
like let's say we have AI on the level of Blade Runner, right?
I've never seen that movie.
Even still, we have, let's say we have fully sentient symbiote or
What is that
like
word?
cybernetic fucking creatures, right?
That
Let's
word,
say
I've been hearing it a lot. Sentient.
sentient, aware, conscious of their own thoughts, aware that they just had a thought. Like, what's
Well, that,
happening?
I mean,
Whoa, did I just think what's happening? Like, that's sentient.
well, that's a mind fuck of a definition right there, because it's almost like a paradox, because it's like, well, it's like, am I aware that I just said that, or like people that are aware, but what is being aware type of shit? That's kind of what I'm going
I
through.
mean, that's, I guess, the definition of consciousness.
Yeah, like,
But sentience is even another level above that, right? Sentience starts ordering your thoughts from the past. Like, you start putting meaning to the things that you thought you think, right? Sentience is trying to understand your own consciousness, right? So there's consciousness, which is its own thing, and then sentience, I would think. Maybe I'm just making this up, but
no, bro. I think no. The thing about it is, do we like because like if we're so sentient, like if we're so sentient and we're like we are, like, I'm not saying it, like, I'm just playing devil's advocate. So
yeah.
what's to say that we could be, you know what I'm saying? There could be someone, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to dive into a conspiracy theory, but just for the like sake of the argument, like, what's to say that we know, like, what conscious, like, being conscious is? Like, there could be some, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So let me put it so yeah, right. So we're talking about like art, and I'm talking about like why art from humans is more meaningful to humans. So let's talk about sentience in an alien species.
Okay.
So an alien species creates some art. That art is going to be more meaningful to other aliens. They're going to understand it more intuitively. So
I hear
art,
you.
so like we can look at it and study it, and we can hypothesize how they might feel about this art based on our understanding of their sociological relationships to each other, right?
Yeah.
So we can hypothesize and come up with theories about it, but they actually experience it because they come from that culture.
Okay,
Humans,
I see.
we can experience art from other humans. Whereas if we look at AI, we can look at it and try to understand what type of AI parameters came up with that. It's not as interesting as being like, oh, the person that was writing this, they just got done reading Nietzsche, and they might have been experiencing depression because their wife just died of like the gout or something, right? You don't know, right? If you like, the history reveals it, the humanity reveals it, right? And it makes us more connected to it because we are human.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I think I was
Why we like rap more. It's like because we can identify with it, you know?
Yeah. I think I just went on my own little rabbit hole in my head, because I took it to I think I misunderstood it to, like, because I took it to like what I think, like, because my thought was, what if AI and I mean, if we keep doing it, like, we will be able to make them as well smarter than us.
Yeah.
So, like, what, and basically, like you said, we're the ones giving it, like, you know what I'm saying? So they should have a pretty good understanding of humans. Like, when does AI become sentient? That's it. There we go.
AI becomes sentient as soon as it tells us it's sentient. That's it. If AI tells us it's sentient, that's the only way we can know. If it says, hey, I fucking know what I'm thinking.
We shouldn't, as creators, and I think this is there's
nothing else to base it off of. We have to trust it. That's the only thing is trust. And are we going to trust it?
No. There has to be a way for us to know.
No.
We need to stop that.
Sentience ain't like that, man.
They start fucking around.
So how do you know I'm sentient?
Huh?
How do you know I'm sentient?
I don't for sure, but as much as any other person I've seen.
Because you're human. That's why art is valuable. So back to my original point. Let's bring it all the way back, all the way back.
Different though.
So
a robot is different.
So why human art is what I originally said. My original comment was that is a safe occupation. Art is always the safest, untakeawayable thing that humans could do, right? It's job security is what I said, right? Because human art is always more meaningful to humans. A machine can make art, right? But it's not meaningful, so it cannot compete with our emotional content.
Yeah.
Because it has an entirely different sphere. It might develop emotions, it might have its own understanding, but its art might be meaningful to other
robots.
Other robots, more meaningful. And we could study it from afar and try to hypothesize and understand what those robots are doing.
But then like my counter question is like because like and you, I mean, this is what we both have understood about it, is like we're literally the ones giving it like the information it needs to know about. It might not be about us, but definitely the same environment that we live in. Like I feel like we're giving it, basically we're programming it to be like, to think like us. I mean, we don't know any other way to think, so how can we even program something to think like we've never thought before?
Well, we don't program it to think anything that we haven't thought before. Exactly. It develops that on its own through just learning algorithms, right? Through just basic learning algorithms. It's going to come up with new systems. Well, the algorithm's not sentient, but the algorithm can lead to sentience. So the algorithm, you can look at it as a parallel to our DNA, right? To like the basic way our cells work together to create new life and evolve, right? So the DNA itself is not sentient, but it's adaptive, right?
Yeah, like our immune.
And the adaptive ability of it allows it to get to a point where if sentience is beneficial in that moment, we develop sentience. Only if it's beneficial.
And I see what you're saying too, because it's only at that job that they do. You know what I mean? Like humans can go and do. You know what I mean? Like they
There's so much we can't even comprehend. There's so many colors on the spectrum we can't even see. There's so much reality that we don't have access to.
Yeah.
Because we're just human. We have a human experience. So
I want to that this is a perfect segue into one of the things that I wanted to bring up, because I was fucking with a Dr. Kaku podcast. Go check him out if you fuck with. Anyway, I was thinking, how do I say this? Do you think that how the fuck do I say this? Just give me a minute. Do you think?
You got it.
So when we first of all, do you believe that, I mean, do you believe that there's a possibility of other life, intelligent life somewhere out there? Or do you think we're just to context of the what I'm about to say?
Yeah. So what I think about that, those are great questions. And I think there's so many unknowns to that question that hypothesizing about it at this point is just an exercise in
it's pure
imagination. It's like we're coming from a supremely naive perspective where we have so little information. Our hypotheses are not likely to be anywhere close to the truth. We might not even is there other life in the galaxy? Might be the wrong question. We don't even know what the right question is.
You're right.
I mean, the answer is 42, but
what?
42? You ever seen a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I have.
What's the ultimate answer to the universe is 42. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant fucking book, TV show, radio show, and a movie. It's got all those mediums covered. Everyone is good. Mos Def is in the movie, so
I fuck with Mos Def.
Yeah, I love Mos Def.
So anyway, I just wanted to know like your thoughts on that. But what I was gonna say is that I definitely, you're right. You bring up a good point to where I
don't know. My answer is I have no way to even comprehend what the answer could possibly be.
I believe, and obviously, you know, if the scientists don't even really have a clue, like obviously I ain't shit, like, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I do enjoy, the conversation on it. Like, you know, it's really interesting to me.
You ever had an abduction experience? I had an abduction experience.
Look, but here, before I forget, let me just get this out. No. I do want to hear about that because I have some something on the context of that. But so the oh my God, I forgot again. I'll remember.
We're talking about aliens, man.
Okay, so I believe in string theory. You know, out of the
String theory is interesting.
you know, like, and this is stuff that, you know, obviously I'm not a scientist, but like I nerd out on. That's the best, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not an expert or anything, but like, you know, I've definitely looked into a lot of the different possibilities. It's something that fascinates me. So with that said,
but string theory isn't scientific theory. It's all hypothesis right now. They can't.
Well, nothing is scientific. I mean, we
There's a
literally.
difference between like evolution and string theory, right? The theory of evolution is not like.
I mean,
that's.
because you could say, that Einstein discovered gravity, and gravity is a truth. Yeah, I mean, he discovered what we call he discovered the he discovered
the space-time continuum.
He discovered our interaction with what he discovered an interaction or something that he was perceiving.
Relativity, yeah.
He named it something, and what I'm trying to say is we can, like, yes, like gravity as we know it is gravity, but we can't point out gravity. We can't measure gravity. We can't, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't know. Oh, I know what I was saying. So what I was saying is anything, because we're just literally what scientists are doing, and it's not to discredit, but like they're observing things that, I mean, you know, no one knows what the fuck is going on. They, you know, they do as much as they can, but they, you know, they call it something, you know what I mean? And they say this is going on, but like you said, like, you know, that's just our interpretation from from the language and our, you know, we don't, you know. And so anyway, all right, so
it's all a simulation. Like our understanding of it is a simulation.
Okay, so I believe more that we are in a simulation than I do in aliens. But the one thing that I did want to say is it doesn't bother me. It does not bother me in the sense that, and maybe you've heard this argument before. I came to, it's similar to this Dr. Kaku. I don't want to plagiarize or anything. It's similar, but like I kind of expanded on it type of shit.
Michio?
The thing is,
Michio Kaku?
He's Asian. I'm probably
Michio Kaku. I know who you're talking about.
I love that dude. Yeah,
he's pretty good. I like it when he sticks to astrophysics because that's his field. When he starts talking about like metaphysics and philosophy, I'm like, no. Like I disagree with a lot of things he talks about when he starts getting into metaphysics and philosophy. But when he's talking about astrophysics, I'm on board. I don't know anything about that shit. Well, I know a lot about fucking philosophy.
Yeah. But so what? And this is, I'm saying this to all the listeners too. Like, I'm just hypothesize that I'm not gonna be able to get that one in time. Just for yourselves, play around with it in your head for the dumb guy slang. But because it was, I was fucking tripping out on it the other day. But so I came to the conclusion that that if we were in a simulation, that it really wouldn't be. It's not as bad as probably you perceive it, and even could be better than necessarily what's on the other side. Now let me just explain real quick, because a simulation, like the definition of a simulation, and literally, obviously, this is completely hypothesized by me. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was a scientist, I'd try and get it, but like, it's just coming from me. But like, what is a simulation? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We make simulations. You know, I mean, the game The Sims. That's like, you know, for the best analogy, like, you know what I'm saying? Why do we make simulations? Well, a big reason is so we can experience things or do things, act things out that we might not be able to necessarily do or get away with.
Try to understand.
And so what I'm saying is, it could be like, yeah, what I'm saying is it might not be that bad because we make simulations in a sense, well, not necessarily better, but in a sense, the better that we miss from this universe or this place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. But what I'm saying is,
We are in a simulation, but we are making the simulation.
Then that's not a simulation.
it is a simulation because our
Experience is only an approximation of the sensual input that we are getting from the actual reality, right? The connection to the actual reality is not directly connected to our sentience or our consciousness, right? That is given to us through synapses, which arises the emergent quality of our consciousness. So we're disconnected from that, but we are creating it by observing it in the first place. Like it only exists. The reality that we experience only exists through our observation of it because we are distinctly
connected to our own relationship to it. But that's not to discount that. So a lot of people misquote the quantum aspect of it. They use that to like justify or say some other philosophical things that are unrelated. They say that like we have conscious choice over the outcome. That's not true. That's not what that shit's saying at all. And Michio Kaku a lot of times will like go into the realm of like, that's why we are free and the most spiritual beings because we affect the reality that we, but that's frou-frou shit. That's frou-frou shit. That's not science. Yeah, that's where Michio Kaku's not talking in his lane.
Well, I think to us, like, what's his name? Neil deGrasse. Like, while he's super smart and I fuck with him, he has times where he'll like, I think it's a thing with with, I'm not gonna say smart people, but like, you know, like there's accepted shit and then there's shit that's not proven, like, and he's speaking as it is. You know what I mean? But I don't see it as, I don't see it as him trying to, when he's doing that, him trying to tell me. Do you see it as that? Like him trying to say, this is what it is. Something
no,
that
he does sometimes. Yeah, like sometimes I feel like he's trying to tell me that these
discoveries that we have made in quantum are in our investigations in the quantum realm, right, through colliders and whatnot, mean something philosophical. He's trying to tie it into some
philosophical implications, which is like a political agenda, which is not like, I don't mean politics like Democrats and Republicans.
Really quick, bro. My computer, like, so my computer, it's
yeah, no problem.
Right, I'll be right back.
You got it. Howdy, everybody.
Damn, I should have checked it. This thing has a limit. That's my fucking, niggas is high. Fuck, that's my fucking phone charger. I'll be right back.
What it do sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely see why Joe why those shows, all of them have a fucking tech guy that only focuses on the tech. Because I remember someone released in the Joe Rogan group that I'm in. Someone released how much his tech guy, they call him Young Jamie, how much he gets paid. He gets paid like $50,000 a podcast, And I mean, like I get it. Like Joe makes like at least $1 million a podcast. So like, you know, that's, you know, it's only right to break him off that. But it's just like I underestimated like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely a job that I wouldn't pay someone right now, but I get it. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Continue.
Now, what were we talking about?
Doctor, or that the I now that I know that I mispronounced.
Oh yeah, Michio Kaku, and like I love his
Astrophysicist shit when he's doing the Neil deGrasse Tyson shit, right? I love that when Michio Kaku's doing that. But sometimes he steps out of his lane into like the realm of like political philosophy and stuff. And
define political philosophy.
Political philosophy, when certain ideologies align with your political
Really?
narrative.
Yeah. I mean, so, that's something that's not a vibe I get from him at all.
No, we all do that. We all do that. It's natural. It's not something that we do consciously. You know, it's not something that's like it's not like something to criticize them as a human being for. It's just like, you gotta watch out when like people, because we all do it. We all want to talk outside of our knowledge base.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing right now, pretty much. But we're just doing this for entertainment. We're talking out of our knowledge base.
Like it's something
we're trying to be honest.
That we all should be aware of, because it's one of those.
There's the fallacy of like
argument from authority, right? Just because Michio Kaku is an authority in astrophysics, sometimes people get the impression that they need to take him more seriously when he starts talking about more spiritual and philosophical things, right?
Yeah.
But that's not something a critical person should do. We should take every argument at its face value, break it down into what's really being meant. And we have certain intentions that we reveal that we might not even be aware of when we start presenting those beliefs, because that's more of like beliefs about the findings, right? So scientists will definitely have findings and have the data, and that shit's revolutionary, but they will all start forming their own unique beliefs about it based on their own understandings of reality, right? And their own upbringing.
You know,
and not everybody's beliefs of why things happen are the same. Even in the same experiment, they might believe it for different things.
Let me put this on the table. I think it possibly could have something to do with, I wouldn't say intelligence, but I wouldn't say mastering your craft, because I really never will ever say you can completely master anything. But
right.
I think due to
proficiency,
due to a realization that you know I kind of related to what you were saying, is because in hip hop, there's definitely times now that I'm looking back that because I am well versed, I do know a lot of factual shit and stuff like that, but like there's times when because I do know that I do study it legitimately, I definitely will I wouldn't say they're demands, but I definitely will make points about stuff that is really not factual and is always going to be biased, and I'll present it as a fact, not consciously, not trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like,
right.
But
we do that.
It's only with
we do that.
Only with hip hop, because that's the only thing that I really can like say that like like I can when I say I can't call something, that means what I'm saying, I can't really call much of this world, but like that's something that I can like hold my own in a debate if there was a rule book.
Sometimes I'm real cocky about the things I know, right? Because I'm pretty knowledgeable. I'm pretty comfortable in my knowledge.
But
I've been schooled a few times. I've been schooled. Let me tell you about this time I was in a bar and someone was telling me about Jackie Chan. I was like, oh, I love Kung Fu movies. I've seen this movie, that movie. He's like, man, did you know that Jackie Chan was in Enter the Dragon? And I was like, the Bruce Lee movie? I was like, no way. Jackie Chan's not in that. Jackie Chan's not in that movie. No. He's like, I'll bet you $100. And I was like, yeah, I'll bet. I was really drunk at the time too. He was like, yeah, I'm so confident and cocky. Like, he thinks Jackie Chan's in fucking Enter the Dragon. This this fucking drunk asshole at a bar thinks he knows more than me about Kung Fu movies. Shake his hand, right? The dude pulls
coolest thing that ever happened to me, and I didn't know it at the time. He walks up to me and is like, "Hey man, it turns out you're right. What do you say we just call it off? I'm not, you don't have to pay me anything. I'm sorry. We talked about this." I was like, "Oh, that's all cool. Everything's good." And I thought I won the bet. And I was like, I didn't want to make like a money bet. It's like, so I think I win. I'm right. Later that night, I'm like looking it up, like, yeah, I was right. See this? And I'm looking at fucking the cast of it, and there's Jackie Chan's fucking name as one of the fucking extras fucking working with it. And then later I see interviews with Jackie Chan talking about how he worked with Bruce Lee in that movie. And I'm just like, I was so wrong, but that guy had grace, right? That moment, like, that's kindness, right? That's just like, I'm not gonna out this guy. He could have educated me.
Well,
in the moment, but I found out later, right? That was a really graceful. That's
way it would have been fair. Would you agree? Like if he would have been like, okay, I win, pay up. You know what I mean? Like either
probably
like, that would have been fair. Like, but yes, that's my definition of choosing the high road. You know what I mean? Like
it was a pretty cool move, man.
Yeah, that's going out of your way to be like, you know what I mean? Like,
and I thought I was so much better. Like I was a fucking idiot.
I literally, my handy dandy. Yes, I really have one. But I just now, like, even remembering that I wrote notes for this. That's good though. That was good though. The books I've been reading on like podcast hosting is like, it's always better. While you do want to plan, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it doesn't get too ADD. Like, it's a conversation. At the end of the day, it's a conversation, yes, because anything you make public is public. You know what I'm saying? But those are the days, and it's not like I don't want it to be public, but it is a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
It needs, like, if you want to call it entertainment, it's probably the least. It's probably in any genre of entertainment, it's the least one you want to prepare for. If that makes any sense. It's like it would do it. It could do it, disjustice.
You mean preparing for hip hop?
No, for podcast hosting.
Podcasting. Oh yeah.
Because centered around the whole idea that it is a conversation. Like, and you don't want to plan a conversation. You know what I mean? Like
you want the genuineness.
Yeah, it's just
you don't want it to sound scripted.
Yeah.
Hey, A+ so far.
Shit, not on the technology side, but I'll get that. Once I really figure out my TriCaster, because there was a way that I could have avoided all that, but I'm not gonna take any chances right now, and I want to, what I'm saying, I'm not gonna stop. So sorry folks, just for the fucking broken fucking green room, but like
all I'm giving everybody is my ceiling fan. I got some boxing going on in the background like usual. I don't know, I love boxing, but I've never boxed. You boxed before. That shit's awesome, dude. I've never done that shit. That sounds so cool.
Yeah.
Love boxing though, man.
It is it's cool. I mean, for me, it was cool, and I had an ego. Well, I didn't have an ego going in. I went in because I was getting bullied and shit like that. I know, super cliche, but like I started to get an ego when I started getting good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, sports was another thing that I wasn't All-American or anything at anything, but like I was probably better at sports than I am at rapping. I only say that because it was like sports is the shit that like I picked it up like really quick. The closest thing that I picked up, what I'm saying, to sports, most sports that I tried, it was rap. That's the only reason I say that. But
I feel like rap is a sport, man. It requires all the same sort of effort.
Bro, I can't wait till the day. And I get it. Like hip hop, there's a part of hip hop is being unstructured and shit like that. So I get it not having a rule book. But I want there to be a day when like a sport, like high schools have like hip hop teams, and like they have debate teams, and they go to different schools and they fucking battle or something. Like that'd be dope. But it might
be cool, but like I always worry that they're gonna
inadvertently emphasize the wrong aspects of the craft, right?
Exactly.
We had this conversation last time about authenticity, and I feel like that kind of
Yeah, it would have to
structure
be.
would encourage inauthenticity.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no school I don't see that would let the hip hop that they were, on that team get to.
I think they should teach hip hop history, though. They should teach
Huh?
hip hop history in school.
Say what?
They should teach hip hop
They
history
do
in
in some
school.
schools. I think it's getting there. Hip hop's still young, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
It's getting there. That's something. I probably have to get a degree, but I could. I can guarantee you, I wouldn't put money on it, but I'm that confident that
You can teach everything through anything. That's why I think, like, if someone's interested in hip hop, you can teach them science, mathematics, like all that shit through hip hop and see like how it applies, like how you can use tactics of the scientific method of like determining what words are used the most in certain songs that are popular, or like what types of rhythms are used the most in popular songs. Like there's so much science
bro,
you can do towards it, right?
So much of a science, and it is. And I look at it, but I've learned, just in my opinion, I don't want to get clouded with the knowledge of how to make the perfect song, if that makes sense. I'm somebody, I know I'm heavily influenced. Meaning I have to censor myself from certain artists because I will start to rap like them, not consciously, but I will. It's
like who?
Eminem. I'll not like, obviously I'm influenced by him, but there's songs that I've not recorded, but I almost did, and it's subconscious, but it's I
did not accept Eminem.
Yep,
fucking ever. I'd never listened to Eminem until recently, and I like him. I fucking ride with him. He's fucking dope.
Yeah,
but
man.
I feel like he's so influential that even though I never explicitly bought his albums or listened to him, his proficiency and mastery of the craft still bled into everybody and made everybody step their game up. I feel like even though I was never directly listening to him, especially when I was in high school, 1999, they're like, hey, there's this new guy, he's rapping just like you. I'm like, what? White people don't rap. I just do this as a hobby. They're like, it's like, no, he's famous. It's like, that can't be. And they showed me Eminem, My Name Is, and I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? This is so fucking corny and stupid. I was mad at it. I said it was corny and stupid at the time, but I just didn't want to give it a chance, I didn't want to.
I think you were a little bit jealous.
I was so jealous.
Jealous? I'll tell you something. I'm jealous of. I think it's not something I'm worried about, but there's a part of me, an unhealthy part of me, that doesn't like Kendrick Lamar just because he's Kendrick Lamar, and I know exactly what it is. That whole ADD concept and stuff like that. Obviously other people have ADHD and stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm realizing because there's no reason that I do like Kendrick Lamar now, but there was no reason for me not to like this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I did, and it was just that was one of those looking at yourself, and I was just and it wasn't really hard, but it was just you're being a little petty. You're kind of jealous right now.
There's always people that at first I don't want to
Yeah.
But as I've gotten older, I've gotten over that faster. And the last one I can feel that I got over the fastest was Kodak Black. I didn't want to like him. I did not want to like Kodak Black.
Me either.
That shit is so fucking ill. It speaks to my soul, man. That shit is just he's really talking from his gut. I feel it's just honest.
And he has the exact same diagnosis as I do, and that wasn't that didn't seal the deal, but that made me understand why a lot of the parts that I did not like about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not making me accept some of the things. You know what I'm saying? Because
maybe
I fucked with his music. I didn't like him as a person at the beginning. Now I fuck with Kodak Black.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But man, it's sad. it's sad. Like I heard, I don't know what to believe, but I do believe this because they're fucking dirty. Like he's saying reports he's getting like harassed by the fucking prison guards. Like there
I
was
bet.
one report, like where
No, because he choked that one guy out for fucking molesting him.
he's had a hard life, man.
Man,
I can
Kodak Black
tell.
won't stand for shit, dude. I'm worried that he'll get killed by the police in
I
there,
am
dude.
too. I really am. That's like if there was one person like, and it's not, it's yeah, like if there was like like people think I don't know if you've ever been to prison, but people think COs. I mean, like they'll put somebody in a rival gang, like gang members, cell. You know what I mean? Like they'll punish them like that. Like it's nothing. Like if you know what I'm saying, if they, mouth off or something like that, when really that's highly illegal. And they, like there is a way to discipline, and obviously it's going to be harder in a prison, but you know, but I guess at the same time, it is a prison, but I don't know. It's just at the time I wouldn't say cold blooded or anything like that, but I would say I didn't have a conscience. I genuinely didn't have a conscience for that time, and there's some shit that fucked me up at that time. And I'm not saying I'm a tough guy or anything. Definitely not now. You know what I'm saying? But there was a time when I didn't react. I didn't, I didn't, and I didn't have a conscience. I didn't care. It's not that I was evil, but I didn't care if I did it, and I didn't care if I acted on an evil impulse. Anyway, the shit. It made someone with the shit that I saw. The shit that the COs do is like made someone with a conscience, not made someone who doesn't have a conscience, like react.
And you could be without a conscience because you got a brain injury. You know what I mean?
Huh?
You could be without a conscience. You got a prefrontal lobe injury. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about ADD?
No, I'm just talking about in general. Like
No,
you're
I
talking
don't have
about.
injury.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying in general. This is why like judgment is so hard. Like that's why I can't judge people at all. Like I just want to fucking accept. All I want to do is accept, like with my whole heart. But that takes me to like really dark conversations sometimes.
But it's not like it's enough. I don't, and I don't generalize a lot, but CEOs as an institution, like, because that's the big word that's like, I don't understand a lot of these words, honestly, that are being thrown around. I don't know what a Marxist is. I don't know what, like, there's all these words that are being thrown around. Like, I know the context of what's being said, but like, like I know, you know what I mean? But there's words that I don't understand. And I know people don't like it. You know what I mean? It's funny, but I'm learning.
Marxism is an interesting conversation.
Like, I don't even
know.
I'm
not a Marxist.
I don't know. Like, I don't even know what
it's a neat idea.
Huh?
It's a neat idea. Like, it's kind of like throughout time, people have tried to envision utopias, right? Marxism is just another idea of trying to make life better, but there's unforeseen circumstances that you can't emergent
there has to be
problems, right? Because we don't understand everything when we create these things, so
there's gonna
problems emerge.
There's gonna be a cost. Like there's
exactly.
Which.
Oh man, I just had a great thought.
I agree with that because
a cost.
There's
always
what
is civilization?
Better at something, but it has to be something more because that can't be because there's a lot of people that don't like it. And I mean.
Man, I have a great thought right now. It's about you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist? Anime?
Is it?
Full Metal Alchemist is this cool anime. It's about the law of equivalent exchange. And everything, you can transmute anything into anything, but it has to be an equivalent exchange of like matter or soul or energy. So they have this thing called a Philosopher's Stone, which gives you like unlimited power to do pretty much anything, but you have to sacrifice like 1 million people. I had this thought a few years ago
that we already do a philosopher's stone. We sacrifice millions of people every single year just to justify civilization, just to justify keeping things moving and able to produce what it's producing, right? Like with cars, we allow like 42,000 million people to die a year. With drugs, we allow like hundreds of millions of people to die a year. Like disease, we just allow people to die a year.
I don't see it as we're allowing people to die. I mean, maybe a handful of people in this country are.
These are the costs of civilization, though, because if we don't live close together, these diseases don't matter, right? If we don't drive cars, we don't die from accidents in cars. If we don't consume all these natural resources, we don't have the earth start grumbling and like having landslides in places it shouldn't because we cut down the forest, right? So what I'm saying is, these are all illnesses of civilization. These are the philosopher's stone. So we sacrifice, we make sacrifices in order to live in civilization. And we don't know what those sacrifices are, but that's the philosopher's stone. It's millions of people's lives that we sacrifice just to be able to live these lifestyles and have these phones. You know where these phones come from? I don't feel so good about it. You know?
You are a good person though. I'm not gonna feel guilty. There's things that I should feel guilty about, and I do. You know what I mean? I just feel like you haven't. Well, unless. Well, no, there's a different. I mean, like there's like there's going to like getting people that are against like animal fur. You know what I mean? And
Right.
like, the market is happening. Like what? Like you said. You said, what was the thing you said you didn't feel good about? If you don't have to say it again if you don't want.
Our cell phones and stuff, like where we get the batteries and where we get the materials from for all the components.
Where do we?
And how we go about getting it.
Oh, so are we talking about child labor?
Not child labor specifically. That's another component of other aspects of civilized industry. So that is definitely a related concept, but like with technology and stuff, it's usually exploitation of lands overseas, specifically in the Congo right now, which is where we're getting, the metals for the components for all these phones. China's over there and then we're getting it from China. We're fueling that whole chain of supply and demand, and the land doesn't look like it should, and it's just having negative repercussions on the environment and species dying and habitability. That's the thing, though. We're doing all this shit to like benefit in the moment, but in the long run, it's gonna make habitability worse, just all around. Because only a few people are benefiting from this shit. Like, and the massive explosions of population as well. That's only a product of civilization, like we're only doing this because it's beneficial for like the people making money to have more people.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe that humans are innately good or innately bad?
Neither. I don't believe in good and evil. Well, I'm trying to understand why it's happening.
I wasn't saying good and evil, but I mean, I don't
believe in good or evil. I believe that we all act the way we act perfectly based on a complex combination of circumstances that influence our behavior in ways that even the individual has a hard time understanding. So other people understanding, it's not for us to understand in the moment. We can observe it and we can protect ourselves from it. That's why judgment isn't for us, right? We're not the judges.
Like, if you can't, like, what I was going to say is, and this is only in extreme cases probably, but like, you might not, like, it might be a subconscious thing, but like, a way that I would know, like, who I thought was a bad person is like, who do I avoid? Who, like you can't tell me you've never avoided some, and for maybe like he might have been like, I've avoided someone because they were dangerous in my life before.
But does that make him a bad person?
No, not at all. But I was scared for my life. Like,
he's bad for you though, right? He's bad for you, and it's okay to look in the context of what your safety is, right?
That's
don't
what I
have to
was
look at it in
asking.
good
Yeah.
and bad. It's just like good and bad is like this weird dichotomous thinking that we don't have to think in those terms. Earlier, we were talking about everything spectral, right?
Yeah.
So if we look at it in terms like this person might be good for somebody else, but my current relationship is at odds. Everything's really complex. So this hat right here, this is One Piece. One Piece has a lot of situations that are like that. They're bad to one person, but they're good to another person, and then you're conflicted, and
Well,
then you
what I mean,
reveal like a past that's way
yeah, I
deeper
guess,
than you can handle.
and I guess it's the definition too, like the what definition the said person has about it too, because like at that time, this person was, I mean, to my, I mean, you know what I'm saying,
Ultimate moral. So
to
if we're
me,
talking
it
ultimate
was,
moral, good and evil, I don't believe in that. But in relative good and evil, like good for you or bad for you individually, then that can be contextualized. It can also be expanded into a group or a
you're on
city,
a
you know,
higher,
like
you're on that higher sentient. I just realized, because I just realized, while like the difference between us, because we're really, I think we're pretty similar, but
I think so too.
like the difference I'm just realizing now is when we're like having these conversations, you're coming at it from more of a worldview. I'm coming at it from like just from me, and how, because, and it's not like I don't have a worldview, because I mean, obviously I've spoken, but like I don't, you
I
know,
want to acknowledge and respect
it's
both
not something for me to really
levels. I still want to respect your view, like an individual view, but I also want to make sure that there's the overall context, because like you can't
Well,
really understand the
you have the
individual
knowledge. It's
perspective.
something I don't have the knowledge. That's what it is. Like I don't have the knowledge to speak on it well enough to that it would overcompensate my not speaking on it. If y'all like rewind that back, you know what I'm saying, for you high listeners, you know what I'm saying. I said that because that was one of them ADD moments when my brain literally like you know what I'm saying, or my
I'm hella
thing was
dyslexic,
working
man. I'm
faster
ADD
than
and dyslexic
the words
too.
are getting out either faster or like
Hey,
say what?
good conversation right now. Do you think there's a combination between being like ADD, dyslexic, or having learning disabilities and wanting to rap? Is
Uh,
there? Because I have learning disabilities, but
I
it
think
never stopped me from learning.
I think any. Well, I don't know I don't know what you would define oppression as, but I think any oppressed.
But I don't think they're learning disabilities. I think they're learning preferences.
And while I wouldn't consider me, like I wouldn't consider AD. Well, yeah, I would, but like I'm not trying to make it as a crutch, but like I think rap attracts like anybody who's had it. I don't want to say harder than average, because then that's saying that other people haven't had problems, but you know, if I could say it, if there were any more politically correct words to say it, I would have said it in those politically correct words. So I'm gonna just leave it at that. But you know, like, and that's, you know, that's not. It's just you're able to have that voice, you know, that either you didn't have or was suppressed or was, you know, maybe I should say probably more for not outcasts, but well, I can't call it. I really can't call it, but I could, you know, I could speculate educatedly. No, educatedly speculate. There it is. I could educatedly speculate, I think. Oppressed, outcast, anyone who, I don't know, anyone who feels like, because really my main drive, anyone who feels like they really have something to say, not in a conceited way, like it could just be, but like they I don't know, the something to sayers, if I could put it, like, you know, people who have something to say, probably, you know, and that it's like a second emotion. That's gonna definitely be like, you know, people who feel that, who are removed from society, who don't feel normal, they're gonna have a, you know, a voice. But you know, I think, I don't think that excludes, uh, you know, your normal, your what's the show? Leave It to Beaver, like, family to make an analogy. I don't think it excludes like anyone who's, soft, quote unquote. You know, they just have to it's like, like Lil Dicky does it good. I feel like. I don't know if you heard of I like Lil Dicky a lot. Like
He's funny. He's
he's
funny.
funny.
I watched his show on Hulu. It was all right.
And he's good though. He can rap his ass off.
Yeah, he's really talented.
But he's like, he was definitely from a privileged, like, background, and
He acknowledges it too, to an extent.
exactly,
He
like
doesn't.
he really made
To
it.
be honest,
Like that's
there's some things that he said that like I can't really tell if he's joking or if he's just unaware, right? Because like he is a comedian at the same time, so I can't tell if he's joking or unaware. Because he's like, I just wanted to be an actor. I don't really care about hip hop, But I feel like I deserve. I feel like I deserve to be recognized for my rap skills. Like it's like well.
I think it was. I think
it's because authenticity. We keep coming back to
no
authenticity.
one with that level of skill is not gonna like the art of rapping, because he's put in a lot of
work. A lot of work.
Like it's
he has to have like a knowledge. Understanding
he's way above, like he's elite already. Like he's really good. Like he loves this shit. There's no way.
Better than me.
Huh?
Better than me. There's probably that jealousy there, right?
No. That's because I don't get. I mean, I don't. He's technically. I mean, this is the only place I do, and I probably will publicly. Please don't try to. It's just like I don't. When I talk about like my particular, because I think personally, y'all can, if you know what I'm saying, if you want to fact check me and call me out if you think I'm bullshitting, but like my humble opinion is, I can definitely compete with the ones that are with the with the big names right now. I can definitely compete, if not, hold my own. But with that said, no artist intimidates me, because it was unfortunate, but like this, it goes into why I always,
I'm scared of them all.
Kind of felt like I should be right here where I am. I should be a rapper. It's because I have the most ridiculous backstory that's like, it's something that there's not even been a chip taken out of it yet, but like it's just one of those things. Like obviously I didn't, it wasn't planned, but like it's one of those things, so I'm never, even if somebody, obviously I'm not the best, you know what I'm saying, but like I just don't get intimidated, because I guess I know I bring the full package to the table. Not to say that they don't, but like, just how good they are is never going to impress me. That's recent though.
What I mean by when I say I'm scared, it's like I'm scared, dude. Like really, like I'm scared of other people's ability and like how other people look at me. But that fear is okay. I'm okay with being scared.
Yeah,
I know I'm brave, right? I can still do it, like, because I'm honest with myself. It's like, and I want my reality to be checked, right? I want someone to say to me, it's like, nah, man, that's just whack. That's just dumb. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try harder. I'm gonna try harder, right? But you got to put yourself out there. I'm still scared of being like.
I'm scared every day.
Yeah,
I'm scared.
I'm fucking terrified of all these rappers. They're so much better than me. I feel like
I'm scared before I make every Facebook post. I'm scared of what are people gonna think. I really care. I don't care. Like, here's how I'll put it. It won't like make me lose sleep, but.
Well, that means you care. Like, if you're scared, you care.
I'd rather it be the other way. Like,
if you don't care, you're not scared, right? Then why post shit that you don't care about?
No,
that's not brave. That's just like easy human shit. This, like, the stuff that's scary, that takes bravery. It's like jumping off a cliff. That's what I'm talking about. It's scary, dude. And things that are scary, we should confront them and like test it out. Like put our toe in the water, try it out.
Yeah.
We can justify it.
It's something that I'm not gonna go into like try and remember who said it, but fucking, oh yeah, Brett Weinstein. He said it perfectly. I'll always remember it, and it's the reason that like he said that, and I just posted it. I had it on my Facebook. Anyway, he said that the person that can think freely, while in this social media world that we're in, that all of us are obviously in right now, a person who can think freely, and get it to almost muscle memory, without hesitation, be able to express that free thought thoughts that he has, get it to where it's almost no hesitation, what I'm saying, to express it publicly wherever. That person is that person, he said one has the best chance to succeed, but two,
Learn more.
learn more, exactly, and have more to say, have more to say, that's and when I say respectful, it's not necessarily respected. Respected is a better word, but no, I look at it and it makes sense. And it was from I mean, he was a Democrat too, so it wasn't like it wasn't like it can kind of sound like he's like hating on cancel culture, but like it's cancel culture. It just cancel culture falls into that umbrella of truth. Like, because I look at that and it's something that rings true more often than not. That I'm glad
Cancel culture to me is like the initial outrage of becoming aware of all these things, right? They don't necessarily know how to handle all this shit, right? They're just now becoming aware that all these bad things are happening. Bad, we use in the terms earlier defined as like things that hurt you personally.
Yeah.
Right? So now that they're recently aware of these things, they want to get rid of them. But that's not necessarily our initial reaction isn't usually the best reaction, right?
Bro, yeah.
That's why we have big fat brains. Our big fat brains, like 90% of what they're doing is slowing us down and saying, think about this a little bit more, because this is giving you a distinct advantage in surviving. So if we just think about it a little more, if we step back and be like, okay, what does all this shit really mean? We can benefit from it.
I'll tell you
this is just the initial reaction of awareness. It's going to take a little bit longer. I don't know how much long in the context of civilization this is going to take, but I feel like it is the initial reaction. This is the way that people react, and we're eventually going to start developing plans pretty soon. So there's no reason to be too scared. This is pretty natural.
Yeah. Shit, I completely forgot. I'll remember. I'll remember when I stopped thinking about it. That's what always happens. But then it gets into that paradox cycle, like when you're trying to go to sleep, because the one thing that you can't think about is the one thing that somehow you always wind up like not being able to stop thinking about.
I feel that. I let things go though, pretty good. I'm really good at letting things go these days. Like I just let shit go.
Me too. Only
because it comes back. Like I might not recognize it as the same thing. I might have like a feeling of deja vu. Like I think I thought of this before, or did I get this from a movie?
I mean, yeah. I just I have too much to lose now.
That's always a bad thing.
Huh?
The Bible talks about that, man. Like if your eye has the potential of offending you, you gotta cut it off. If you have so much to lose, you shouldn't have so much to lose. Like that's the only way to do it. I'm not judging. It's just about like.
I mean my mental health. I mean, to me that's like I built like I don't know, I've built myself, my mental strength that at me dealing with stuff. Like if I like I have that I have my sanity to lose. Like
That's true. That's an important thing to hold on to, at least.
yeah, no,
I agree with
it's
that.
all good. Like I'm saying I like
That's something like is prioritizing. At the very least, keep your sanity, right? At the very least, keep your sanity. But
yeah,
if
and
there's
I
things
mean
that you can
yeah, I
afford to
guess
lose to
it's
keep your
context
sanity,
because like I probably should have hyphenated that I did not have sanity like genuinely for a good portion of my later teens, unfortunately, you know what I'm
well,
saying?
teenagers don't, man. Our brains are still developing until we're like 25, 26 years old.
I mean, yeah, it was that, and I mean, I crossed the line a few times, a few, you know, it happened, but like, in the sense that I didn't like, I when I say that I have so much to lose, it's because I've came so far from like I made the analogy that I was insane. I did not have my sanity. I mean, I obviously I had my sanity, but I was, it was my mental health was really low, and you know, I'm I'm pretty proud of, I had, I'm saying I had to do it, but like I'm pretty proud of how far I've been able to come mentally. You know what I'm saying? It because
Nice.
yeah, there is so and yeah, and it's
You
not
should
like
be.
I'm like, oh, I'm not like boasting about it or something, but it is something that I, I would say I would use that quote for. Um,
Absolutely. I feel that for real. There's no reason to not be proud of going through the struggle and fucking coming out
pride, I
better
heard
for it.
pride is a sin though. I heard
Well, pride in the
that's
wrong
the only
context
one
is a
that
sin.
I mean,
Pride,
I'm sure they have an ideology, but
I guess we could like as language has evolved, we have varying degrees of pride, right? Again, we get to the spectrum of things, right? So pride in the sense of accepting yourself, right? You can have we can all have like an equal level of pride in that we're acceptable. Like we should be accepted and loved as we are, no matter what. And that's something to be prideful of. But
well,
it's an equal pride. It's kind of a meaningless type of pride, I guess. Takes all the oomph out of the word, like being like, I'm proud because I'm white. I'm proud. Like it takes the oomph out of that, which I'm all for taking the oomph out of that.
I mean, yeah, unless it's like something like super racist or like homophobic, something
I'm
that's
proud to be
like
straight.
that.
I only like women.
I
Yeah,
don't have a problem
weird.
with people like I don't have a problem if people feel proud to. I'm not gonna say white yet, just it's not yet, but like there's
So pride makes sense in the context of marginalization, right?
like
So if
You have been
I'm proud of
marginalized.
right now, it literally wouldn't even bother me. Like it wouldn't even be a thing to where I'm like bothered, but I'm like, oh, but I know he's my homie and I know he's not. No, it wouldn't even bother me because I don't like. But you know, I understand the times we're in. It's that environment. You know what I mean? I'm super mindful of environment and
Yeah.
like there's certain things. I mean, I don't agree with fucking cancel culture. I mean, I think a lot of people don't, but there's certain things that are mainstream that I don't agree with. I strongly disagree with. Not a lot, but more than a lot of people would think. And well,
It's okay to disagree and have all those conversations.
we just got to be open to having the conversations.
yeah, not a lot of people are these days.
Just got to talk.
Just like you're saying, like the person that fucking
Puts their ideas out there, even if they're wrong.
is going to be the one that learns and excels because they're hearing that they're wrong. Their reality is getting changed. Every single conversation changes what we think. Like right
Exactly.
now, you're changing who I am, and I'm changing who you are.
Exactly.
Irrevocably.
Literally, even if we weren't trying, like neurons are going doing their thing
Exactly.
and bouncing off of each, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's real shit. Like
Real shit.
it's creating what do they call it? Something memory, like, or something like it's something, it sounds cool and it is cool, like, but like as we go through life, like our brain, like in a sense, like, because it gets better at navigating the world, you know what I mean? So in a sense, it carves out, I don't really know how to say it. I'm butchering it, but it's it's dope and it's going on.
Yeah, we're lay people, so it's all good. We're just trying to understand it. Like it's like a tree branch,
right?
like reaching out to new little parts of our brain, tickling it, saying, "Hey, I like you over there."
Hey, ladies, the all two of you that might be watching. So this is like, that meme that goes around and is like, I wonder what he's thinking about right now. He's probably thinking about another girl, and he's like, and it's like, I wonder how many like such and such as this happens. Most of the time, I'm not gonna speak for everybody, but a lot of the times, dude, just be fucking talking about some shit. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for everybody, but that was my contribution to to my two female fans that I might have. Like, but I can't believe this is dope too. Man, I was heated. I get so heated in inanimate objects, but especially my computer. Cause I don't know. Like obviously our combos are never dull. But there's people I've interviewed or not, or had on the podcast, and I never put it out. Not anything against them, but it's just I wasn't very interested in. Once I started, I wasn't, they weren't really saying anything that I felt like, as what I'm saying, like it wasn't, I'm not trying to put
it challenging enough.
Yeah, it wasn't, and maybe they were doing it out of like politeness, you know what I mean? Like it was, it wasn't, there's nothing at all negative to, you know what I mean? But it was just, that's the fucking shitty part about like anything in the anything, because I'm so open-minded, but I am the most closed-minded when it comes to rap and like my process and like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't affect anybody else, but just to how the contrast to, I mean, I'm probably not the most, I shouldn't say so open-minded, but like the contrast to my open-mindedness, like about almost anything, to how seriously I take my process and just that and rap. It's day and night. It's day and night, and it's not hurting anybody, but it's worth mentioning if just to be, if we're being honest. Like,
right.
I can't believe. Oh, what I was gonna say is, this is like my man, and I was paying. This is free, and I was paying $20 a month for that TriCaster.
God dang,
man,
it's so much easier.
You see that? That's that shit. That's the shit that I get pissed off about. Like these people that make these programs, like either they don't have to price them that high, or like why is this free and something that because I've been thinking this whole time trying to come up with what that does that this can't do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's some shit that I get. That's some selfish shit. See, I only get pissed off at the shit that affects me. Fucking, but
that's how we are, man.
Really, it's because I understand. Like I understand it. Like I mean, because I can, I don't know. It's partly maybe selfish, but it's something that I understand and can see is a wrong. Like someone, you know what I'm saying? Like, But anyway, bro. So, as much as you want to and can, like, what was DMT like?
DMT is like a spaceship ride against your will. It's like,
are you scared?
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah,
very scary. At first, but then like I guess
it's the only
the weird thing about DMT is like at first you're scared, but then you're overwhelmed by warmth and acceptance.
Yeah. It's something that the more that I'm hearing about it, I don't want to sound fucking, because I'm a pretty grounded person, but like the more that I've been hearing about it, it's like the effects that I'm hearing that people have, like after going through the full, the full trip, like all link up with some shit that that would be very healing and very, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and in that, like, I feel like it's kind of like I'm being cold, and that's kind of the, you know.
The profoundness and the duration is like, it plays an effect on your brain too, because like you feel like the time was way longer, right?
Yeah.
And you feel like you get so much more out of it than like you would from a 2-hour movie, right? You feel like you get like a whole lifetime, like an experience is so like abstract and out of your normal context of experience.
Would you say it changed your life?
Yeah, well,
because I mean that's what
it didn't change my life, but I can understand why I would. It kind of just affirmed some things that I was already believing. I was already reading like Carlos Castaneda at the time, and
my two huge biggest fears, and when I say fears, I don't I don't have many, but the ones that I do, I'm definitely afraid of is ironically death, and then it kind of goes along with it, but the concept of nothing. And I heard in a way DMT I've heard from different people that in a way it is nothing, or it shows you.
Well, you die is what people explain. But like the reason I was drawn to it is because I already had this experience of dying, right? I already felt like I had died and given up everything, and then like I was already developing these views on reality, and so I took it, and it's just like it's more confirming, but it was embracing. It was still like.
I guess it would change. It would have changed. It changed me in the respect that I felt like I wasn't alone in thinking the things that I thought.
Is that something that was a constant? Like, did you really think that? Like, or was it? Did you?
Yeah, no. The one that really broke me apart was Salvia, though. Salvia took me everything that I thought mattered. I thought Salvia just took everything that I thought mattered, and nothing mattered. Nothing at all mattered. Like my consciousness was taken from me, and
that just sounds like it's from hell.
Well, it's more illuminating, man. It's more illuminating on who you are. It's like, how do you handle hell?
Huh?
How do you think about that? How do you handle hell? How do you respond to hell?
That's why, I mean, I'm literally terrified of death.
So that's why Salvia is so interesting. And I explain to people each time you do it, every single time you do it,
after the first time.
What's that place in the middle? Limbo. I'd rather go to hell than go to limbo.
Well, when you're doing Salvia, every single time you do it, you feel like you're jumping off a cliff,
right? You feel like before you do it, you're like looking over the edge, like, oh shit, I'm doing this again. That's fucking scary. But the more you do it, the more you get like familiar with the rush. Because there's this weird, DMT has this too. It has a current that like flows against you, and everything like comes off your body, like all your, I don't know how to explain it. You just become part of like a motion in the water or something.
Did you go to that room with a lot of doors?
On DMT or Salvia?
DMT.
No, I didn't go to a room.
No. Because another thing.
So I don't know if I did that much, but I felt like I was in space. I thought I was floating in space. And I thought I was out of oxygen, but I wasn't. And then I was comforted, and then I felt like I was connected to everything, you know?
Yeah.
But I wasn't my body. My body wasn't anywhere, you know?
Yes, and that's where that nothingness shit comes, because it's something that I
had a dream that was more DMT like than my DMT experience.
Say what?
I had a dream that was more DMT like than my DMT experience.
Man.
So I had a dream where I experienced nothingness, right? Like I felt like the impression that I got after waking up and like meditating on this dream is that I didn't exist. I don't know if like my heart stopped or if I actually died or anything, but I experienced absolute nothingness, or so I thought, from the perspective of a consciousness that
what did it feel like?
Nothingness. I can't explain it. It doesn't make any sense. It's a paradox. It's a oxymoron. But like when I think about it, I feel like that was nothingness and I was gonna die, and then I just woke up, and then I was like, oh God.
But if you were in nothing, would you be nothing? Or maybe
it felt like it was an infinite amount of time. It felt like it was an infinite amount of time of nothing,
That's
of doing
not
nothing, and
bullshit. I'm not trying to
I felt like
spend
I had no consciousness,
spend
and I
that much time.
didn't make any decision. I didn't
Bro,
have
this
any
is
action, right?
bro, the hair on my fucking like it like this is that shit. Like
But that's not my. I had an abduction experience dream too, but I
I
don't
got
believe in aliens still.
I got
That's because I used to fuck with
lucid dreaming. I used to do lucid dreaming
really,
practice.
like I used to like
so
ask
that's the
myself like
issue.
5 times a day, and I would like pinch myself.
Am I dreaming? And then I got into a habit of it, and then I got so proficient at it, and I wasn't smoking weed because you can't smoke weed when you're trying to do lucid dreaming. You fucking pinch yourself so
Really.
much
In the when you're
I
conscious.
didn't think that was
And
real. I was
no,
just
it's real. So like you pinch
that's
yourself
I,
and you ask yourself if you're conscious, and then you eventually make it so much of a habit that when you're asleep, you remember doing it, and you just remember, like, you dream that you're doing that, and then you're like, oh shit, am I
oh.
actually dreaming? And then you become aware that you're dreaming. The
And
first few
you're
times,
and you're you in your dream. Is
yes.
that not
So the
scary?
first few times it's really weird, and you get really
That would scare
excited,
the shit out of me.
and you fucking wake up almost immediately,
That would scare the
but you get
that would
better
be
at it.
literally the most scariest thing that's ever happened to me. If I woke up, if I was conscious in a dream, I'm like,
I've gained
it's not
consciousness
gonna
in
be
a
inception.
dream.
It's gonna be
I
some
got really
weirdo.
proficient at it. So,
Huh?
I'm talking about the process of leading up to getting to this. This is how you get to the point, right? You
Word.
pinch yourself.
You ask yourself, am I dreaming? Like you do it as much as you can a day. I was like doing it probably like 5 times a day that I could remember. And then I eventually was just entering into my dream habits, right? I would dream about
Pinching myself and asking myself if I was awake, and then I would become aware. The first few times I would be like, "Oh shit, I'm aware that I'm dreaming," and I'd get so excited, and then I wouldn't know what to do. That I would just wake up, like my heartbeat would start like escalating.
In your perception,
Then I started having nightmares,
like weird nightmares.
they
yeah.
weren't that scary, but it was like tunnels and like evil things in the background and like opening doors.
And then like I would go explore it, but I wasn't really aware that I was dreaming yet, right?
And then I would go into these
We all
doors, and
dream,
there'd be like someone down there, and then I would get
So scared and terrified, and then the habit would start kicking in that moment, right? It would be like, wait,
when
this
it
is too
needed to.
scary. This is too scary.
When it
This doesn't
needed
happen
to.
in reality. Are you dreaming, Dusty? And I'll be like, pinch myself, and I'm like, holy shit,
I'm dreaming, and I'm not freaking out because my heart rate's already up because the shit's crazy. And then like one of the first times that it happened, when I could get control over it, I wasn't flying yet. Like I couldn't fly or anything, but I envisioned a book on this corner because there's this witch at the bottom of this basement. And we can go into like the psychology of a witch being at the bottom of a basement later. I don't know what that means.
yeah. But she started ascending the stairs,
Coming up at me, and I was like, oh shit, I'm aware I'm dreaming now. She's still coming at me and really mad
apparently, that I know that I'm dreaming. And then like I was like, to prove that I'm dreaming, what can I do? How can I change this reality? And there's like a book sitting on a shelf. And I made a book attack the old fucking witch lady coming at the stairs. And it was like, blah, 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 blah. And the witch and like the fucking pages of the book were like flapping at her like a bird. And then she fell down the stairs, and I was like, yes, I'm dreaming.
You dreaming Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like that's some like I can't even, sometimes I can't even move in my, like I'm just eyes in my dream. Like my body moves by itself. It just does, like I don't even remember most of my dreams. That's crazy that like literally I can't tell you one that like I can remember right now, but like there's a few that every now and then I'll remember I did have that dream, but I rarely remember my dreams.
I got weird dreams from my childhood that I remember. I got like recent ones. Like I just have fun, weird dreams. I think it's because I'm really adventurous in my spirit, and I probably don't express enough of that adventurous nature,
And I could, I could stand to enjoy my sleep more. That's cool.
But you got to stop smoking weed if you want to dream.
That's gonna be hard, but
exactly.
I mean, it's not to sound like, well, I mean, that's a straight stone thing to say, but it's just, it would be that stopping smoking weed. It just has so many benefits for me at this point in my life. It would do more. It would, it'd put me off balance more than. It'd be more negative.
I might one day.
I'm trying to sound too smart.
I might cut out weed one day, but not because
I think it's bad.
I don't think I'll ever stop smoking weed. I want to cut out. Well, I
I
want
might
to.
go like maybe 6 months or something. You know, that's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. There's nothing wrong with, yeah, oh yeah.
There's nothing wrong with doing it or not doing it. God made this plant. It's for
Oh.
all of us to enjoy.
Well, I'm honestly I'm really high right now, and I'm honestly like I find myself kind of nodding out. Uh, so
We can call it if you want. What-
yeah, if yeah, I'm about to literally chop this up like tomorrow, like when I wake up, the video. But yeah, bro, like this was, I mean, I mean, I like this more than the last one. I mean, just we talked, we got to, stay on and but yeah, I'm definitely like, I'm definitely like I'm definitely gonna get to come back and be a guest. You know what
A
I'm saying?
regular.
Huh?
A regular.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy your conversation more than most.
I enjoy your conversation too, sir.
Yeah, I just them two blunts, they caught up to me. But
Yeah, I'm getting tired.
it's but shit, we got like this is like already like I don't know I don't know where the time is, but yeah, man. And also it's good. It might take me a week or two, like to be honest, but like I'll get you over a beat. You know what I'm saying? Or one of a few months.
Yeah, man. I'll lay down some verse.
Yeah. I'm gonna email you like, like probably like 5 or 6 ones where I have an open verse, you know what I mean? And you could pick the one that
See which one fits the vibe.
Yeah.
For real.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, David.
All right, man. It's good talking to you, like always.
Yes, sir.
Bro.
Bedtime. I'm tired as fuck.
Me too. Stay safe.
Peace.
Happy 4th of July.